Live from Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Inter-County Baseball League. And today it's the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs back in town again to take on the hometown Barrie Baycats. Hi everybody, welcome to the broadcast. Ben Davy and Julius Hern with you. And these fans here in Barrie today get a chance to see something potentially here in their home park that they haven't gotten to see in 3 years. And that is a series clinching game for Barrie here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
And it's all because of a huge nail-biting win last night at Christie Pitts of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Baycats take a 2-0 series lead in today's afternoon. A clash, and they're really going to have to keep the barrel focused on how they've been beating the Maple Leafs. Really a clobbering in Game 1, and last night really playoff baseball, one of the most intense games the Baycats have had all season, and Josh Mallow, the manager, really echoed that praise as well. It's
a best-of-5 series. The Baycats are up 2-0 coming into today. As for Toronto, Veteran Ball Club, they really got clobbered by the Baycats here in Game 1 of this series. Made a little bit of noise in the late innings, but the score was out of reach. Game 2 last night at Christie Pitts, a much closer outcome. However, this Toronto Ball Club still hasn't led at any point in any game of this series so far.
Yeah, they're really going to have to focus on what the Baycats did in Game 1 against them to try and get that little bit extra advantage in this ball game today, right down to the wire. They know they're on their last breath in this series. Could be the final game for the season for the Maple Leafs, so they got to focus on that. But also, their pitching has to keep them in the ball game, and Sam Green's on the mound for them to try and do that today.
Let's meet the rest of the players. Here's our public address announcer, Rob Daniels. Rob.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to Vintage Throne Stadium for season number 23 of Barrie Baycats Baseball. This is the first round of the Inter-County Baseball League playoffs, and the score so far, Baycats 2 and the Maple Leafs no score in the best-of-5 opening round. Here are the starting lineups for game number 3. First for the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs, managed by Rob Butler. Batting first, playing shortstop, number 1, Jose Vinicio. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 5, Jordan Castaldo. Batting third, the catcher, number 9, Justin Mara. Batting fourth in center field, number 29, Marcus Connect. Batting fifth at third base, number 17, Jonathan Salazzo. Batting sixth in right field, number 19, Jesse Hodges. Batting seventh, playing left field, number 8, Ryan Dos Santos. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 3, Mike Chiquetto. And batting ninth at second base, number 6, Dan Mara. On the mound this afternoon for the Maple Leafs, number 33, Sam Green. And now, the starting lineup for your Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Matlow. Batting first in center field, number 9, Canis Ejo. Batting second, the shortstop, number 11, Brandon Hernandez. Batting third, the first baseman, number 35, Malik Williams. Batting fourth, the designated hitter, number 27, Ryan Rio. Batting fifth in left field, number 20, Nolan Macabroda. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 26, Adam Odd. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 7, Royce Endo. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth in right field, number 6, Kyle Maves. On the mound this afternoon for your Baycats, number 31, Benitez. Here are the umpires for this afternoon's ball game. Calling the balls and strikes, we have Ben Rosen. Handling first base, Ryan Herron. At second base, it's Jared Merkley. And at third base, Dana Case. Fans, can you please rise, if you are able to, and kindly remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
beautiful Sunday afternoon at Vintage Throne Stadium in Springwater Township. Ben Davy, Julius Hern, Game 3, Round 1 of the 2024 IBL playoffs. The Baycats looking to wrap it up here at home and get some rest before Round 2. Toronto, Julius, would love to win here today and keep this series going and bring it back to their park in Toronto.
Yeah, their backs are right against the wall here against the Barrie Baycats, and they surely don't want to see the same thing that happened to them in Game 1, a 14-8 blowout in favor of the Barrie Baycats, and they know that if they can take this series right back to Christie Pitts, anything can happen.
Here is the Toronto lineup for Rob Butler today. Jose Vinicio leading off at short. Jordan Castaldo, the former Baycat, DHing today at second base. Justin Mara, the catcher, bats third. Marcus Cadet cleaning up in center field. Jonathan Salazzo at third base batting fifth. Jesse Hodges is the right fielder today in the number 6 spot. 7, 8, 9, it's Ryan DeSantos in left field. Mike Chiquetto, the former Baycat, hit a grand slam here in Game 1 of this series. And Dan Mara batting ninth at second base.
Taking the mound for the Barrie Baycats, big right-hander from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. It's Juan Benitez. First appearance of the playoffs for him. Coming into this one, a regular season ERA of 2.65, good enough for 6th best in the IBL as well, taking in a 7-1 record and 2 saves. So really a great piece for the Baycats all over the mound, whether starting or in the bullpen. Coming in against the Maple Leafs team that he cut up earlier this season with 6 shutout innings.
The men in black today, Ben Rosen calling the balls and strikes. Ryan Hern at first. Jared Merkley at second. It's a 4-man crew today. Dana Case behind the bag at third. As Jose Vinicio will step in to face his fellow countryman, Juan Benitez, the veteran right-hander for the Baycats, 32 years old. Here in his 4th season with Barrie. And he'll step off just for a second as a loose ball had to be retrieved in center field. Kinesijo will flip that back over the fence, and we are ready to play. He's talking to Vinicio for a couple of moments before the game. He understands the importance of this. Their backs against the wall here today. Takes the first pitch high, and we're underway here this afternoon at 3:09. Digs in, waits for the 1-0 from Benitez, and it's lifted foul to the left. Game time temperature 25, the Humidex at 30. It could get a little bit warmer and muggier even as we head into the late afternoon, and no significant breeze right now. The wind was blowing out earlier, slightly from home plate to left field. Vinicio kind of squats into that one, and it's a called strike, 1-2.
Well, the sun really beating down here at the ballpark. Lots of umbrellas out. I'm sure will be more coming out throughout the game.
Swing and a miss. A strikeout to start the game for IMP North, and there's one down in the first.
Let's give you the defense for the Barrie Baycats. Behind Juan Benitez will be Nolan Macabroda in left, Kinesijo in center field after a great catch last night. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Kyle Mays gets the start in right field. On the infield will be Adam Ott at third, Brandon Hernandez at short, Roy Sando at second base, Malik Williams back at first base with Tyler Plumpton at catcher with a late scratch to Hayden Jaku, who's at the ballpark today, but in favor of Tyler Plumpton behind the dish as of right now in the starting lineup.
Well, we'll see if Jaco is available at any point as a defensive substitution. Certainly provides that versatility when needed, as he can play a variety of defensive positions and swinging a really good bat, too. First pitch is a called strike to Jordan Castaldo, the former Baycat. One of 2 ex-Baycats in the lineup, along with Mike Chiquetto. Benitez deals, and this one down the line. It's a fair ball. Williams with a toss to Benitez, covering in time for the out. Quickly 2 away here at the top of the first inning.
Benitez got off the mound in a hurry to get over there at first base. You know, Benitez, one of the best fielding pitchers in the IBL, and good on Malik Williams just to keep that ball in front of him, knowing Benitez was kind of right behind him to cover.
Baycats feature 3 outstanding starting pitchers in their rotation. Juan Benitez, one of them, along with Frank Garces and Cesar Rosado. Of the 3, Juan may arguably be the best defensive fielding pitcher of those. And you saw how quickly he got to the bag there. First pitch strike to Justin Mara, the catcher. Mara weakly fouls it off at home plate. What a game Justin had here in Game 1 of this series. A home run to lead off the 7th. Finally got Toronto on the board after 6 shutout innings. Mara followed that up with a pair of singles. Reached base all 5 times in game 1 of this series. Benitez with the 0-2 pitch. It's outside.
Well, not to mention that home run he had last night in the 9th inning that really made that game that much closer. Gave the Baycats a little bit of a scare, but they held on.
Carlos Sano back with the ball club and came on for 2 innings of relief. Cesar Rosado last night. Here's Benitez with a wind to the 2-2 pitch. It's high and away, and the count is full.
Looks like a little bit more velocity on Benitez's fastball than usual. Maybe in his mind, it's definitely a start that means much more to him than regular season.
Bounces up to the plate, and Mara tosses the bat away. He's aboard, the first base runner of the game for the Maple Leafs. So that'll bring up Marcus Cadet, the center fielder.
At bat for the Maple Leafs, number 29, Marcus Connect.
Justin Mara, not a base stealer, but he did swipe 2 bags in 2 attempts in the regular season. Malik Williams will hold him on at first as Benitez checks the runner.
This guy, it's pretty quick for a catcher, so you don't want to give him too much off the first base bag in terms of a leadoff.
A first pitch strike to Connect, 0-1. Connect hit .266 this year, and he lifts it over the screen foul, strike 2. And again, Juan Benitez a strike away from getting out of this top of the first inning. There comes the crowd. And a good crowd here on this Sunday afternoon for game 3. Pitch on the way from Benitez, and it's lifted to the right side, and it's a foul ball down towards the Barrie bullpen. Count holds 0-2.
I think Connect broke his bat on that. It was a high pitch that he got a pretty good piece of, but jammed a little bit. He's going to have to switch some twigs here.
So Toronto trying to force game 4, which would be back at Christie Pitts on Wednesday night. And if they win that, we would be back here on Thursday for the decisive 5th game. And certainly the Baycats don't want it to come down to that. Connect really taking his time picking out his piece of lumber. He's got one he likes. And no urgency to get back to the batter's box.
They're really taking his time here. First inning, you want to get settled in.
And then he steps out of the box and takes a cut. Benitez ready and has been for a while. Comes to the belt. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. It's up near his head.
Well, all these counts so far have gotten to 2 strikes, so credit to Benitez for getting ahead in these counts early. He did lose Mara on that walk, but it was given a lot for these Maple Leafs hitters to look for.
Almost seems like he's trying to get them to chase those 2-strike pitches instead of just coming right at them. Let's see what he does here on the 1-2. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. He got him. 2 strikeouts for Juan Benitez, brought to you by IMP North, and that will do it for Toronto in the top half of the inning. Barrie coming to bat. We're scoreless at Vintage Throne Stadium. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on ESSA Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Hi, I'm Christy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Welcome back to Vintage Throne Stadium. First inning of play brought to you by McDonald's and Barrie, home of the free fries with 5 Baycat strikeouts.
Batting order for the Baycats, same as game 2, 1 through 5. Kenisi Joe leading off in center, Brandon Hernandez at short, Malik Williams at first, Ryan Rio DHing, and Nolan Macabrota batting 5th and left. Hayden Jaco, as mentioned, a last-minute scratch. We'll see if he's available later on. So Adam Ahn will bat in the number 6 spot at third base. Roy Sando at second, batting 7th. Tyler Plumpton inserted into the lineup in the 8th spot behind the plate, and Kyle Maves in right field batting 9th. Pitch from Green on the ground to third, and it gets past Jonathan Solazzo down the left field line. Going for 2 is Ejo. Here's the throw, and he's in head first with a double. Ryan DeSantos a little slow getting to that ball, and Ejo took the extra 90 feet.
Well, let's give you the defense for those Toronto Maple Leafs behind Sam Green, who we'll talk about a little bit later. Ryan DeSantos in left field, Marcus Connect in center, Jesse Hodges gets the start in right field. Meanwhile, there's Jonathan Solazzo at third base, Jose Vinicio back at shortstop, Dan Mara at second, Mike Chiquetto, the former Baycat, at first base, and Justin Mara behind the plate.
Josh Matlow, who has adjusted the lineup quite a bit through the regular season, has settled into a pretty consistent, predictable 1 through 5 now. Ejo, Hernandez, Williams, Rio, Macabrota. And here's a pickoff attempt. The ball off the glove of Vinicio into center field, and Rio will take third. Or Ejo, excuse me. So Ejo now 90 feet away. Nobody out. Brandon Hernandez at the plate.
Well, that's the danger of having Kenisi Ejo get on for the Maple Leafs right behind you, right to lead off the game. He challenges you on those base paths. He makes you, very much aware of him, and Sam Green didn't like what he saw. He forced a throw over there, and it bites him.
He is a constant distraction for pitchers. And if he's not trying to steal bags, he's distracting pitchers and forcing throws. This one to second, and over the head of Dan Mara into center field. It'll score Ejo. The infield was playing in. And Barrie's on top 1-0.
Well, and that's the danger of playing in. You leave yourself susceptible to those high bounding balls. Mara was playing right in on the infield turf. Hernandez took advantage of that, the ball bouncing off the dirt in front of the plate and over the second baseman. And cashes in Kenisi Ejo, so just like that, Baycats score first yet again.
So they could have traded a run for a routine 4-3 ground out there, but with Mara in way too far, that ball got past him. And now nobody out. Hernandez at first. Here's Malik Williams. And he couldn't hold up on a high fastball. Strike 1.
Well, another thing with having Hernandez in that second spot, another guy that definitely a speed threat at first base. Doesn't attempt to steal as often as Ejo would, but definitely has the legs for it.
Sam Green with the pitch, and it's fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Rio on deck, the DH and cleanup hitter.
Well, Williams moved up into that 3 spot in the lineup last night and came through in a big way, 3 for 4 with an RBI and scored a run as well.
Waggles the bat as he waits for the 0-2 pitch from Sam Green. Green taking his time. And here he comes. Off speed, just missed. 1-2.
Williams really seeming like he's catching fire in the last couple weeks of the season, and it's translated here into the playoffs as well. I mentioned 3 for 4 last night. Was 2 for 4 in game 1 with another RBI.
Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground to short. Vinicio to second for 1, relay to first, not in time. So Hernandez retired 6-4. Williams is on a fielder's choice, and there's 1 on and 1 out for Ryan Rio.
Big ovation from Ryan Rio. We're fans in front of us and on to our right, but if you look over to our left, those 2 sets of bleachers are filled with Maple Leafs fans, hoping to see their team carry through and force a Game 4 back at Christie Pitts.
Family members, fans. We had the Bushmen here for Game 1 of the series, and they have traveled well with their ball club here in this first round.
We saw how packed the pits were last night. It seemed like that hillside behind home plate was just filled with crazy Maple Leafs fans.
Yeah, there were a lot of people in the park, too, beyond the outfield fence who were watching the game. I noticed that. Of course, that's prime home run territory in a hitter's ballpark. No balls, 1 strike. Rio waits. Here's the pitch, and it's a fly ball to left field. It'll hang up. And Reyes de Santos makes the catch. 2 outs in the inning. Ironic, because we talked to Rob Butler about this in an interview before Game 1, but 2 completely different ballparks in terms of dimensions. Pitchers like it here at Vintage Throne Stadium. The balls usually fly out of Christie Pitts, but it was Game 1 where the home runs were hit here in this series, and a much lower score last night in Toronto.
Yeah, it just seems like this Maple Leafs team, not to say that the Baycats aren't, but the Maple Leafs are much more suited for a team that's relying on home runs as opposed to the Baycats, who only had the 1 home run by this man on Thursday night, put up 18 hits, only one of them was a home run.
Yeah, this Toronto ball club loaded with power. They can launch baseballs no matter where they're playing, but especially in their home park. Nolan Macabrota, the rookie. Swings and misses on the 1-0. Count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, in 2022, when these 2 teams played in the playoffs, first round series, the Maple Leafs swept the Baycats, but the Leafs put up 18 home runs in those 3 games.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that series well. That one bounces up to the plate, off of the mask. Mara takes a look, and Williams is not going anywhere. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, Williams doesn't run very well to begin with, still recovering from some injuries he's had earlier this year, and looked like he was a little bit flat-footed when that ball hit the dirt anyway, so best not to risk it from his perspective.
Baycats lost that 2022 series against Toronto in heartbreaking fashion. The blown lead in the 9th, but came back to win 11 straight regular season matchups before Toronto finally got to them on August 7th. This one on the ground to second. And the throw to first is in plenty of time for the out, and that will do it. Baycats strand a runner, but they get on the board first. It's 1-0 Barrie after 1. They're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Top of the second, Vintage Throne Stadium, Springwater Township. It's Game 3 of the first round of the 2024 playoffs. Toronto Maple Leafs, Barrie Baycats, and the Baycats looking for the sweep. Once again, they have the early lead here today, 1-0. As Jonathan Salazzo comes to the plate, Jesse Hodges, Ryan DeSantos also due up. And Salazzo came just within inches of making this a 3-1 ball game last night in Toronto with a swing of the bat. And he launches one here to right field and almost on cue. That one over the scoreboard and gone. He parks one here in the bottom of the first inning. 1-1 tie.
Well, that low and away pitch to start Salazzo off from Benitez, and you can't fool as good of a hitter as Jonathan Salazzo is off the bat. That was a no-doubter. Kyle Maves out in right field, didn't even take a step to look at it.
So last night in Toronto, he basically hit one over the left center field wall that was brought back by a leaping Canisijo, who was able to save a 3-run home run. That definitely would have affected the outcome of the game with 2 base runners on in a game that ended up being a close score at the end. Salazzo makes no mistake on that one there. Nobody was going to leap up and grab that ball. It was over the scoreboard. Here's Jesse Hodges. So 1-1 tie. Slider low. Let's see how Juan Benitez bounces back now after giving up a long ball here.
Well, Benitez only lost this year. He gave up 2 leadoff home runs in that game among the 3 he gave up.
When he gives up home runs, they seem to be with the bases empty, which if it's going to happen, that's when you want it to happen.
Exactly.
So that has helped him keep his ERA low and keep the scores close.
Well, for the Maple Leafs,
where he's pitched.
For the Maple Leafs, maybe looking at a Juan Benitez scouting report, you know that, those first pitch, of the at bat are vulnerable, and they can tend to be very hittable. So, like Salazzo did it right there, he took advantage and put it over that right field fence.
1-1 tie, top of the second. Jesse Hodges with a 2-2 count. That one's low and it's full.
But if you're Juan Benitez now, you know that because of that, you've seen it in the past, and now in this game, you know you can't sneak those first pitch fastballs past these guys.
This one hits a right field, and it will bounce foul. Racing after it, Kyle Maves, well out of his reach. The at-bat will continue. Hodges came on as a pinch runner last night in Toronto. Got an at-bat. Just his second plate appearance of the series. Fouls it to the right. Count still 3-2. Benitez with the payoff pitch, and it's a fly ball to left center field, and going back and reaching up and making the catch is the left fielder Nolan Macabrona. Another long ball.
Was a nice catch from Macabroda. It didn't look like he caught the ball, the trajectory of it right off the bat, but he stuck with it. Found it, only had to take a few steps back and to his left, but he makes the catch. And Macabroda, in preparation for this playoff series, knew he's probably going to be playing a lot of left field. Remember the last regular season game in Brantford, he spent the entirety of batting practice out in left field, just knowing he had to keep practice on tracking fly balls. And he knew it was going to be an adjustment for him, but it's paid off for him.
On the ground to second base. Roy Sando, second hop with a throw, pretty close, but it's just in time for the out. Well, 3 pretty well-hit balls off Juan Benitez in this inning so far. The leadoff homer to Jonathan Salazzo to lead it off, and then Jesse Hodges hitting a couple of deep fly balls as well. 1 foul, and 1 caught by the left fielder Nolan Macabroda. The home run that Salazzo hit to right field at Christie Pitts probably would have ended up somewhere near the skate park. Certainly on the junior ball diamond, where most home runs to right field end up. This one to the left side. Scooping that up, Adam Odd makes the throw. It's in time to get Mike Chiquetto. So the leadoff home run off the bat of Jonathan Salazzo, that is it. We have a 1-1 tie as we go to the bottom of the second inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the second inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's a 1-1 tie between the Maple Leafs and Baycats. Second inning of play brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe Region for over a decade.
Left-handed hitting Adam Odd will face Sam Green for the first time this afternoon. Roy Sando, Tyler Plumpton also due up here in this bottom of the second. A run on 2 hits for the Baycats. 1 run, 1 hit for Toronto. Solo shot by Jonathan Salazzo at the top of this inning to tie this ball game. Baycats got on the scoreboard early and did not let up here on Thursday night. Broke out for 5 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, another 5 in the fourth, and had a 13-0 lead on Toronto at one point. Swing and a miss by Odd. Game ended up 14-8 as Toronto made some noise in the late innings. A grand slam by Mike Chiquetto, but it was far too late at that point for the Leafs to mount any kind of miraculous comeback. That was low, and 1-2 now to Odd.
Well, the thing with a grand slam in that scenario, you're down by, at that point it was 10 runs it seemed like, or close to it. The grand slam is a rally killer. You kind of clean the slate for Ryan Lacasse, who's pitching on that situation, ended up finishing out and getting a 3-inning save despite, letting the Maple Leafs back in it a little bit.
Yeah, you often hear that. It's a, quote, rally killer, but you'll still take it. You'll still take the runs, right, when you're down that far. But it does give the pitcher a clean slate to work with, and Lacasse was clearly struggling out there. It was not his best relief performance by far, but he was able to work through it in a low-pressure situation with the The lead out of hand at that point. This one hit weakly in front of the plate. The throw is in time for the out. Great job by the veteran catcher, pouncing on that one, and a strong throw by Dan Mara to get him.
Well, Odd really was hustling down that first baseline, made that play a lot closer than it maybe should have been, but Justin Mara, great defensive catcher, able to pounce on that right in front of the plate and make a great throw over to Chiquetto.
Really took charge as well, too, which is what you like to see from a veteran catcher, leaving no confusion over whether it was going to be him or his pitcher that would make that play. Sometimes those weakly hit balls right in front of home plate can be a little bit confusing. So Roy Sando, the second baseman. Here's the pitch. On the ground, foul over near the Toronto dugout.
Sam Green, this is his first playoff appearance, had 13 in the regular season, a 3-2 record, and an ERA of 5. This is the fourth time he's faced the Baycats this year. His last outing was on the 4th of July at this ballpark and went a clean 4 innings.
0-2 pitch, popped up behind second. Back for it and calling for it is Dan Mara. 2 outs here, and Tyler Plumpton, the catcher, will bat.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton.
Well, Josh Matlow talked about the importance of getting an early lead. I asked him before game 1 what he thought the Baycats needed to do to level up and take things to a bit of a higher level from the regular season. The first thing he mentioned was getting on the board earlier. And that certainly helped. They definitely did that in game 1 and did it in game 2 as well, and were able to cash in with victories both times. This team definitely plays better when they can put some runs on the board in the first half of the game.
Well, on Thursday night in game 1, the Baycats didn't score in the first inning, but all the runs for the most part, 13 across the second, third, and fourth innings, then 1 in the first last night, really helped them out to get things started.
Low outside is 2-0. Plumpton had .341, an outstanding season, 25 games for Barrie this year. Certainly made the most of his opportunities when called upon. 2-0 pitch on the way, and it's on the ground. Foul, heads up. Some heads ducking near the Toronto dugout. Everybody okay?
Well, with Barrie last night, the Baycats out-hit the Maple Leafs 9-5. But Barrie still left 7 men on.
2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it just missed. What a take by Plumpton on a close one. 3-1.
Yeah, a lot of great discipline there from Plumpton. That height of the pitch, it was over the plate, but just a bit too high. And those are the pitches that tend to see a lot of chases on. Green
deals inside, ball 4. Plumpton draws a 2-out walk. Keeps the inning alive for the number 9 hitter, Kyle Mays.
Right fielder number 6, Kyle Mays.
Kyle Maves, a utility player who has been called upon to fill some holes throughout the season. The injury to Noel McGarry-Doyle definitely opened up an outfield spot, and he was able to get into the lineup 13 times in the regular season, .229 average. Getting some playoff action here this afternoon. First pitch, and it's fouled off.
We got a hit in a pinch hit situation yesterday, which seemed to me like it gave Josh Matlow the confidence back in Maves to have him start today's game in right field. The big thing for Maves, he's coming back from a neck injury that he had throughout the last half of the season where he had a lot of trouble turning his head from side to side.
Yeah, that can really affect your vision as a hitter.
Especially when you have, in this situation, you really have to turn to be able to face the pitcher.
Plumpton takes the lead. Here's the pitch, and it's lifted a foul. Left side, Might stay in the park, and a great catch by Jonathan Salazzo. How about that? Head over heels over the wall, and that is the third out of the inning. Spectacular catch by the Toronto third baseman. So that'll do it as the Baycats strand a runner. We played 2, still 1-1 here at Vintage Throne Stadium.
Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
And this crowd still buzzing a little bit over that highlight reel catch by Jonathan Salazzo over the fence, down the third base side, doing a somersault to catch a foul ball and end the inning for Barrie.
That whole second inning as a whole for Jonathan Salazzo, you can't ask for a better start and a better finish. He starts it off in the top half with a leadoff home run, then ends it saving his pitcher with an incredible catch. I argue that could be catch of the year in the IBL.
Well, we've seen 2 amazing catches in this series so far. Of course, Canisijo's leaping grab, robbing Salazzo of a 3-run homer last night at Christie Pitts. And now Salazzo's catch here. As this one's hit on the ground to first, Malik Williams will take that himself one away. So, a little possible conversation maybe for our friends on the YouTube chat this afternoon. Whose catch did you like better, Canisijo's last night or Jonathan Salazzo's here today? Both of them pretty incredible. Of course, Canisijo's saved runs, right? So, I would say that was the more important catch, but I would say that one by Castaldo may have been harder.
I agree. I think Salazzo was more impressive, but the bigger stakes were for Ijo, who saved what could have been a game-changing home run, albeit in the first inning, but still a 3-run home run, in that situation would have put the Baycats down.
Yeah, would have changed the outcome of the game. No question about it. Swing and a miss, or foul tip by Vinicio.
Not to mention that both of those catches were to end the inning. So Ijo really got Cesar Rosado out of a jam in the first inning.
1-1 pitch. Fouled away. The only thing fans might have wished would be that the 2 could have been reversed, that the Ijo catch could have been here and the Salazzo catch could have been at Christie Pitts.
Well, it nearly all came full circle. Had it been one batter later, it would have been Ijo fouling out to Salazzo.
You talk about baseball symmetry. Wow, that would have been incredible. Swing and a miss by Vinicio. It's brought to you by IMP North. 1 out here in the third.
Strikeouts have really been an issue for Jose Vinicio in the playoffs so far. Coming into this game, he had 8 at-bats against the Baycats in this first round. 4 of those were strikeouts, and add another 2 onto his total for the series. So coming now 3 for 10 with 6 strikeouts. Not something you want to see from your leadoff hitter if you're the Maple Leafs.
2 outs in the inning, my apologies. The ground out by Dan Mara to lead it off. Inicio down on strikes, and now Jordan Castaldo. Here's the pitch. And it's low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the fans here in Barrie gave Salazzo a nice, appreciative round of applause because they just love good baseball and a good effort by anybody. And certainly the Toronto fans were whooping it up, but I think even some Barrie fans really understood how hard that catch is to make.
Well, I think it meant a little bit more like all the Maple Leafs fans are sitting on their dugout side.
Yeah, they got a good view of it. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, or sorry, 3-1 now the count to Jordan Castaldo.
Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but it seemed like the entire Maple Leafs dugout came out from the dugout up the stairs to give Salazzo a high five when that happened. They were all surrounding him, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, they're fired up. And when you're down 2-0 in the series, you'll use any emotional leverage that you can get to maybe take a moment like that and get your team fired up a little bit when your back's against the wall and the playoffs are at stake here. 3-2, the count to Castaldo, 2 out in the inning. Here's the crowd for Juan Benitez. 3 strikeouts so far today. Payoff pitch, low and inside, ball 4. And that 3 up, 3 down inning, oh so elusive for Juan Benitez, another Toronto base runner.
Well, that's the one thing Castaldo has seemingly mastered this season, drawing walks. One of the IBL leaders in that category, even had an on-base streak of 30-plus games earlier this year.
Now time is called. Benitez had started his delivery. You hate to see that with a pitcher. He put the brakes on there and seemed like he managed to handle that okay. Last thing you want to see is a pitcher rolling an ankle or something. That was a very late timeout call by Mara. Takes a pitch, it's 1-0.
Castaldo, an incredible 32 walks in the regular season.
And good patience here as he gets ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Justin Mara, 2 for 4 last night, knocked in a couple. He takes a pitch for a called strike there, 2-1. Toronto looking for their first lead of the series. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, there even hasn't really been that much time where the games have been tied either. Start off with a full inning, scoreless, and then right here, Barrie gets on the board in the first, and then another one for the Leafs at the top half of the second.
And trouble for Juan Benitez now with back-to-back walks. Castaldo and Mara, and Marcus Connect comes to the plate.
Center fielder number 29, Marcus Connect.
Don't see this very often from Juan Benitez. 3 walks already through first 2 2/3. The only hit he's allowed was that home run to Salazzo.
Well, pretty safe to say the goal is to get 6, if not 7 innings out of Benitez here this afternoon. Try to limit the bullpen use and get it to Carlos Sano to nail it down again today. But
Benitez even said pregame that his goal was 7 innings today.
Certainly capable of doing so, and here's a fly ball that should end the inning. And the catch is made by the right fielder, Kyle Mays, and that will do it. So 2 base runners stranded by the Leafs. Bottom of the 3rd inning we go. Vintage Throne Stadium in a 1-1 tie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Domino's, Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Hi, I'm Christy Fans from Hern and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Bottom 3 back at the ballpark, still a tie score, 1-1 between the Leafs and Baycats. Third innings brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
Here comes Ejo. The leadoff man is going to lead off the bottom of the third for the Baycats in a 1-1 tie with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Our public address announcer Rob Daniels letting fans know we've got 2 more out-of-town games to keep an eye on after this one. You can go home, watch some late Sunday baseball on YouTube, and check out some of the other fine IBL broadcasts that are on the respective team pages. Hamilton and London tonight, Chatham, Kent, and Guelph. The other series, Welland up 2-1 over the Kitchener Panthers after Kitchener with a surprising upset in the series opener. Welland coming back and really laying it thick on the Panthers in Game 2 and Game 3. Lopsided scores.
Well, you can just tell that Game 1 loss, especially at home for the Jackfish, really, upset them clearly because they came back with double-digit wins in terms of margin of victory in both Game 2 and 3.
Well, Yadier Martinez, the strikeout king and one of the best pitchers in the IBL, was brilliant in Game 1 of that series to get the upset win for the Panthers. And if he's scheduled to pitch Game 4, it does it again. That could make a 5-game series very interesting between those clubs.
Well, that Game 4 is going to be in Kitchener, and if you're asking me, I would imagine that game is just going to be in Welland's favor, and I'll explain why. That park, Jack Couch Park in Kitchener, very short dimensions, shortest in the IBL, but Yadier Martinez led the IBL in home runs allowed. Meanwhile, the Jackfish had the most home runs as a team this year.
Interesting. I haven't checked the home road splits on Martinez, but that would be interesting to see. Jackfish are known for the long ball. That one high and in.
It's just the most hitter-friendly ballpark in the IBL. So just in terms of the matchup on that, that surface of it, I would give the favor to the Jackfish, not only just because they're the top team in the IBL, but just the long ball seems to be in their favor.
Well, if Kitchener comes back and takes that series, and again, they'd have to win Game 4 at home and then Game 5 in Welland, the Panthers would be Barrie's first-round opponent. If Barrie advances automatically, they become the #1 seed, and they would face the lowest-seeded team, which would be Kitchener. So,
and keep in mind, these playoffs aren't bracketed. They will reseed as they progress.
Pitches inside, and looking to run her back is the catcher, Mara. Ejo is on, always a threat to steal. You saw that aggressive base running in the first inning. Took a double on a ball hit right down the left field line. Drew a throw, an error to pitcher Sam Green on a bad throw and a pickoff attempt to get to third, and then scored on an RBI single by this man, Brandon Hernandez. There he goes. Low and in. Here's the throw. No chance. It's high. And in underneath, it's Ejo is able to stay on the bag. Nice grab by Benicio, came down. Made that second attempt just to see if he could catch him off the bag, but Ejo stays on.
Well, Ejo got a great jump off of first base there, but I noticed a little slight hesitation as he was approaching second, looking back to see where that throw was coming from Mara, but luckily for Ejo, that throw was high. But like you mentioned, Ben, that effort by Vinicio definitely could have saved another bag for the Maple Leafs.
Green checks the runner. Ejo dancing around, does not go. Here's the pitch. Just missed. Good take by Hernandez to make the count 3-0. Malik Williams on deck, a dangerous hitter in his own right.
Crazy to think that already in this series, Brendan Hernandez, 8 RBI, including what he's done today.
6 in game 1, I believe.
6 in game 1, 1 last night at the pits, and now 1 today in game 3.
Had 5 RBIs and 2 at-bats in the series opener. Takes a pitch, it's a called strike.
But the Baycats, ahead of him in the lineup, close to the bottom of the order, but also Ejo that are setting up these opportunities for him, and he's cashed in.
Here's the pitch. Inside ball 4. 2 on for the Baycats here in the third. This is Malik Williams. So the only team we know for sure, other than Welland, that Barrie won't play in round 2 is the Hamilton Cardinals. Because if Kitchener and Barrie both advance, the Baycats automatically play Kitchener. If Welland wins their series, then the Baycats will have to play the higher seed of Chatham, Kent, Guelph, or London. Only 2 of those 3 teams can advance, obviously. So that rules out any possibility of a Hamilton-Barrie series in the second round. A mound visit has been charged, as Dan Mara wanted to go over some things with Sam Green. Middle infield back and slightly around to the left. And now Green has to step off and use his disengagement. Ejo dancing around. Again, just really causing a distraction out there, and Green needed a reset.
Well, that error from earlier obviously seems to be going through Green's mind. Doesn't want to make the same mistake again because it cost him.
And now a throw over, and the tag is applied, not in time. Good throw by Green there. It was more on the first base side of the bag, but easily snared by Dan Mara.
Well, Ejo was really dancing around. He was hopping in the air as well, and that throw, as Green came around to make an attempt at it, caught Ejo in that, third base side hop as he goes here.
Both runners go. Here's the throw to second. The tag, he's out. Kenise Ejo takes third. Hernandez is out. So the Baycats give up an out, but they get a runner 90 feet away. I don't know how you feel about that trade-off, but Josh Matlow putting both runners in motion.
It seemed like Mara was hesitant to throw to third, so he came through this motion to second and paid off for the Leafs.
I mean, the worst-case scenario for Barrie, you're going to get one of the 2 steals, right?
Well, think about it as if Williams bunted, and they made the play to second. But you could look at that as a sacrifice kind of scenario for the Baycats.
Well, a low-scoring game. I mean, it's still early here, but you never know how close this one's going to be when we get down to the wire. Pitch looked like it was inside, but it's called a strike. 2-1 here, the count to Malik Williams.
Well, now with just the runner on third, the Leafs defense playing just like they were in the first inning when Ejo was on third and Hernandez was up, and it didn't work out well for the Leafs. That bounding ball over Dan Mara at second, but they're in the same position here.
Foul back to the screen. Yeah, I believe it was Hernandez that hit that ball over Mara's head. Williams will try to do the same here with a drawn-in infield. Green looks in. Everybody on the grass except Salazzo. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece. And Mara upset at himself that he couldn't make that catch.
Well, that high pitch from Green, Williams had a lot of trouble laying off it. Those high pitches I mentioned before, they seem so hittable because they're so close to your eyes.
Runner at third, 1 out. Sam Green. 2-2. Fouled again. What an at-bat here by Malik Williams.
A lot of fastballs late in this count from Green. Malik Williams here might be sitting on a breaking ball, but a 2-2 count, if you're Green, you have a little bit of flexibility to be able to do that and keep it around the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Green is ready. He deals. High. 3-2. Full count. Dangerous bat on deck. It's Ryan Rio.
If there's any situation you want to strike out, this is the perfect one. Just a one runner on third. To get that second out would be massive for Toronto.
Infield could play back then. Still in on the grass. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's high, ball 4. Green showing a lot of emotion out there on the mound. Came halfway to home plate to get the ball from Justin Mara. That pitch wasn't really close. Back-to-back walks here. Hernandez caught stealing, but he's walked 2 now, and Ryan Rio will come to the plate with a man at third and a runner at first as well.
Not even just back-to-back walks. Ejo got on with a walk as well, so Green can get to those 2 strike counts, but he can't hold on to them.
Middle infield back now, ready for the double play. Pitch on the way. It's low and into Rio. Green falling behind again here. Chris Nagorski down in the Toronto bullpen, not throwing. A little bit of movement down there, though. Green's pitch, and it bounces up. Hits Rio. And that's going to load the bases.
Yeah, that pitch from Green was nowhere near where he wanted it. It bounced in front of that batter's box, and Ryan Rio, not much you can do to try and get into the way of that, or out of the way of that, pardon me. So 4 straight free passes now for Green against this man, Noah Macabrota, who, if you look at what he did on Thursday night in game 1, it's not the guy you want to see at the plate with the bases loaded.
So we'll see if that increases a little bit of urgency in that Toronto bullpen here now, as Sam Green clearly laboring out there in this late August heat on the Sunday afternoon. Pitch count getting up there as well. Macabrota with the bases loaded.
Still one out too.
Green really taking his time. Comes to the belt. Locks in, kicks, deals. Called strike, inside corner. Macabrota shaking his head as he's behind in the count here, 0-1.
A lot of fastballs early in counts from Sam Green. See what he does here on 0-1.
Here's the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So this inning started with a walk to Kadesijo. He is at third base right now. Malik Williams is second. Ryan Rio at first. Nowhere to put the man at the plate, Nolan Macabrota. Adamon on deck, 1 out in the inning.
Just makes that caught stealing from Brendan Hernandez loom that much more. Wasted opportunity at this point for Barrie.
Got a piece. Fouled it back, 1-2.
Just judging off the results of the subsequent plate appearances, the Baycats would have taken the lead by now had that double steal not been attempted.
And there'd be nobody out in the inning. So here's Sam Green with a big 1-2 pitch coming up, and it's high. Count is even 2-2. Not a time for Sam Green to be nibbling around the plate. He wants to go right at Nolan Macabrota here and attack that strike zone. Nowhere to put him.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to force Macabrota to make some kind of contact, ideally grounding into a double play here with just 1 out.
Pitch on the way, on the ground, and it's past Dan Mara into right field. It'll score at least 2. Mara's throw, no, it doesn't. The slide by Williams, he's out at home plate. They sent Malik Williams. Ejo scores. A great throw in from the outfield by Jesse Hodges, and Williams just didn't have enough speed to get in there and beat that throw.
Well, Williams, as he was rounding third base, he slowed up a little bit. I'm not sure if he didn't realize where that ball was coming, but he knew his coach, that was Andrew White at third base, was waving him around. I don't think that Williams realized how shallow that ball was when Hodges picked it up, but he went for home plate anyway, and that throw was so great from Hodges, beating Williams by a mile, who didn't look like he was going to attempt to slide at first until he realized that ball was approaching home plate.
So 2 out in the inning. Here's a pop-up, and that is way foul. Behind the benches, or off the benches, and now to play for a strike, 0-1. So it's 2-1, Baycats down.
Well, now if you're Josh Matlow, you're looking on, noticing that both outs of this inning have been on some base running errors possibly. The caught stealing from Hernandez earlier on, and that one there from Malik Williams. Or it didn't seem like it was all that necessary to wave him around. Especially with knowing that he's not running at 100% like he usually could.
Green checks the runner. Here's the pitch on the way. Weekly in front of home plate and off the leg of Adam Odd, who will try to skip that one off.
Yeah, Adam Odd doesn't wear any leg protection, just has the batting gloves, not even anything on the elbow there, so that one's definitely going to sting. Luckily, went right off that right shin.
So he'll take a moment. Home plate umpire Ben Rosen will get some baseballs from the Baycat dugout as Odd will try to shake that one off and hang in there to finish this at bat. No balls, 2 strikes. It's that right leg, probably right off the ankle or the shin. No balls, 2 strikes. Fans appreciate the effort here from Adam Odd. Green trying to get out of the inning. Pitch on the way, and it's fouled off.
Yeah, Odd visibly upset about how he took care of that pitch. Really seemed like that could have been that one pitch in the at-bat he could have driven. But just like that, he's down 0-2.
Baycats have had base runners all 3 innings off Sam Green. A run in the first, 1 here in the third, 2 on, 2 out. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to short, easy play for Vinicio Tamara, and that is in time for the out. So Sam Green gets off the field with minimal damage, just 1 Baycat run, but it's enough to give Barrie a 2-1 lead through 3. You're watching Baycats TV, Rogers TV, Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
We've played 3 innings here at Vintage Throne Stadium. It's a 2-1 lead, just 3 runs so far in the first third of this ball game. It's taken a while, though. We're an hour into the game here. Both of these pitchers have had jams to work out of, including Sam Green, who nearly had things unravel on him there in that third inning. Bases loaded. Barrie only able to get 1 on the board off him in that third. Juan Benitez will come out and try for a quick top of the fourth here. Benitez had a pair of walks in the top of the third inning that he had to deal with. This one right back up the middle. It's gloved by Brandon Hernandez. The throw in time! Jonathan Salazzo thought he had the throw beat, and a very close play at first base.
It was a rocket right back up the middle, and a great play by Hernandez staying in front of that one, but definitely a close. That play was bang-bang at first base. Salazzo obviously making his case for safety at first, but great play by Hernandez. He really needed everything on that throw to get Salazzo. He was hustling.
Ryan Hern, the umpire at first today, and really a call there that, boy, could have gone either way. Jesse Hodges, the right fielder. Shows bunt. Count 0-1. Hodges made that great throw to get Malik Williams. And home plate. The bottom of the third inning.
That play still baffles me because it seemed like Williams wasn't sprinting around third. He was clearly jogging as he approached third, and he was still sent to home plate.
Well, often a base hits to right field situation like that. Now, there was only 1 out, so the runners weren't in motion. Keep that in mind as well. 2 outs, you definitely expect to score a pair on that. This one deep to right field, reaching up and making a nice catch is Kyle Maves. That ball seemed to have a little bit of carry on it. No wind right now, but it just kept drifting back and back.
It's a lot of carry on that ball from Hodges. Maves had to go pretty far over to right center field. Kinesicia was there, right there next to him to back him up, but nice over-the-shoulder catch, similar to what we saw from Nolan Macabrota back in the second.
Well, the trajectory on that was a lot deeper than it looked off the bat initially, and no wind blowing out right now at the moment.
Well, even then, that fly ball to left field I just mentioned was also off the bat of Hodges.
Another one up the middle, and it's Hernandez taking it again. A throw at first, close play, in time for the out. So how about that? Brandon Hernandez with a couple of stellar plays defensively. And the Maple Leafs go 3 up, 3 down for the first time this afternoon. Quick inning for Juan Benitez. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Barrie up 2-1 here on Rogers TV and Baycats TV.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
7, 8, 9 in the Baycats lineup due up in this bottom of the fourth inning, which is brought to you by Clarkson Bins and Junk Removal, the local source for simple, clean, and reliable disposal bin rental and junk removal services.
Roy Sando up to bat for the second time today. He's 0 for 1. He will face Sam Green, who nearly had things unravel in that third inning. 3 straight walks and a hit batter, and he gets out of it allowing just 1 run. That's pretty remarkable.
Well, he's got his defense to thank for that. A couple assists, one by his catcher Justin Mara, one by Jesse Hodges out in right field that really helped him out with 2 crucial outs in that inning.
And some great defense in this series so far, and the 2 highlight reel plays, Kenise Ejo's catch last night, Jonathan Salazzo's catch here today. We put the poll up on our YouTube page. Which catch did you like better? Ejo's last night, which saved a 3-run home run, or Salazzo's today down the third base side of the fence, going head over heels, doing a somersault to make a catch on a foul ball and held onto it. The current results, we're told, 77% in favor of Salazzo's catch, 22 for Kenise Ejo's, but you got to keep in mind, the Barrie fans are here at the ballpark. They're not voting right now. we have some watching on YouTube, but...
Well, I will say there are also a lot of Leafs fans at this ballpark today as well.
Call strike 3, Sam Green with a big strikeout. Roy Sando down as he's frozen. Start the bottom of the fourth inning.
Well, aside from game 1 of this series, Roy Sando has struck out at least once in every game he's been a part of this year. Only 8 appearances in the regular season. But he's one of those guys where if he's available, Josh Matlow's going to use him. And moving him down to that 8 spot for these couple home playoff games, Ando said he's just happy to be at the ballpark, doesn't really care where he hits, but he still knows that Matlow has a lot of confidence in him.
Well, he's a good hitter. He is definitely a great all-around player, but he plays better when he can be in the lineup on a consistent basis, and availability has just been a factor, of course, this year for him. So they like to get him in the lineup when they can.
Well, Ando was telling me before the game today, switching from his golf swing to his baseball swing has been a big issue for him earlier this year. Just changing that range of motion, getting back, pardon the pun, but into the swing of things.
It's a 3-0 count here to Tyler Plumpton. Has yet to swing the bat in this plate appearance. I noticed some Major League ball players play a lot of golf during spring training, and I've always wondered, like, is that a difficult thing? You're playing a lot of golf, but you're also working on your baseball swing too, and trying to do both of those at the same time. I don't know. I don't play golf, so I'm not sure how challenging it is.
It's definitely curious. But
called strike.
I know that a lot of athletes at high levels of their respective sports, not even just golfers, but like Steph Curry comes to mind as a great example. He's a guy that will go play a round of golf, and that'll lock himself in for what's to come next, because he finds that that activity so relaxing for him.
I walked to Tyler Plumpton. Yeah, 2 completely different types of swings, and that's probably one reason I'm not good at golf, is because I try to hit a golf ball the way I hit a baseball.
Yeah,
you can imagine how that works.
I've had that issue too, don't worry. But I also ask guys like Adam Odd, Kyle Maves, a lot of the guys in the Baycats that golf fairly often. They say that they tend to see that same thing happen with them, where they'll go out for a round of golf in the morning, maybe on game day, and it kind of helps them relax, ease them back into the rest of their day, and lock them in for the game to come.
Kyle Maves 0 for 1 today. Runner on. Shows bunt, and it's fouled. Maves, one of the better bunters on this team.
Well, that's huge for Josh Matlow's club to have a guy like Kyle Maves who can bunt pretty well, have him in that 9 spot in the order. Because if he can lay a bunt down and sacrifice himself, that would give Kenise Ejo a runner in scoring position today, which he hasn't had. Ejo led off both times he's been up today.
For a couple of ball clubs that have played historically high-scoring games, you wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of bunt attempts, but both teams have done that so far in this series here. A low score here this afternoon, 2-1 on this Sunday afternoon. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Plumpton, the base runner at first, 1 out. Green, ready? And he deals. Called strike. Boy, Sam Green would never survive a pitch clock in the IPL. Or maybe he would, but we would certainly have to make the adjustments. He would be one of the guys that would definitely be affected by it, especially with runners on. Comes to the set position and deals. And it bounces up to the plate and goes to the backstop. Tyler Plumpton to second. So how big could this potentially be? Runner in scoring position, 1-run ball game, 1 out of the inning.
Well, Kyle Maves and some of the opportunities he's had this year has been able to come through in the clutch. Just to slap a hit the other way could go a long way for the Baycats in this 4th inning.
So Kyle Maves will try to put a ball in play here with a 2-2 count. Green with the delivery. Fouled away. Count holds at 2-2. So the possibility of the double play removed on that wild pitch. Maves waggles the bat. Sam Green deals the 2-2 pitch. Fouled again.
Looks like Chris Nagorski is warming up in the Maple Leafs bullpen. And the last time Sam Green was here, only went 4 innings, but it was a clean outing. It was 4th of July against these Baycats.
You can believe all hands will be on deck for manager Rob Butler this afternoon. This team with their back against the wall today. Green missed on the 2-2, and the count is now full. Plumpton with the lead at second base. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Ball 4. Maves is aboard with a walk. Well, Sam Green certainly having some control issues this afternoon. 3 walks in the 3rd, a pair of walks here in the 4th. Plate really moving around on him here today.
Well, I gotta say, I'm surprised we're not seeing a mound visit here from Maple Leafs coaching staff with the Nagorski throwing in their bullpen. Another inning of trouble as it appears right now for Green.
Well, again, as far as arms in the bullpen, anyone and everyone will be ready to go in this potential elimination game for the Leafs. No point saving anybody beyond today. This is a do-or-die game for Toronto. Ejo swings and misses. Strike 1.
Well, game 4 would be Wednesday night, so these two teams would have 2 full days of rest between games 3 and 4, but for the Maple Leafs, you're really just hoping to get to that point. Still down by a run against the Baycats.
Here's the pitch. Called strike, up in the zone just a little bit, but Green gets the call, and now it's 0-2. If the Baycats win today and take this series, they will definitely get a couple of days off. It is possible round 2 could start here at Vintage Throne Stadium on Tuesday night, depending on what happens with the other series. Lots of possibilities still at play. Here's the pitch. Missed.
Well, the Baycats,
Ball, 2 strikes.
if the Baycats win this series, we definitely know that they will have home field in the semifinals, but it all depends on who they'll play.
If those series take a while to complete, then a good chance Barrie might open here on Saturday. That would give them a really nice stretch of days off. Get everybody healthy, get the pitching set. I mean, their next starter is Frank Garces, scheduled anyway, so, you know, winning this here today, he comes up next in the order. He's your game 1 starter in Series 2 for sure.
Well, and that's how Josh Matlow's lined it up ideally for him, having Garces as his so-called ace in that first top spot in the rotation. Provides you some really strong innings to get your series started well, and he did that in game 1 for sure.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Green deals, popped up, and it's a foul ball. Lots of umbrellas around the ballpark for shade. It's nothing but sunshine in the sky above us. Fans enjoying some late August summertime heat here on this Sunday afternoon. Canisijo at the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Green deals inside, maybe a little high as well. Count 2-2. Great at bat here by Canisijo.
Huge position here for Ejo. Led the Baycats in RBI this year. Got a runner in scoring position here.
It's a foul tip, and it's into the glove for a 3rd strike. A big strikeout for Sam Green.
That was a pitch very, very low for Ejo's liking, but he still chased anyway. And great play there from Mara on those low pitches. It's so hard to keep a foul tip into the glove, but he held on. Huge strikeout for Sam Green, who's just hoping he can get out of this inning unscathed with 2 on behind him.
Doesn't get easier. This guy, arguably the Baycats' best hitter in this series, Brandon Hernandez. 2 away, 2 on for him, and he takes a pitch, low, ball 1.
Well, Josh Matlow's consistently called Brandon Hernandez the best shortstop in the IBL. And the way he played earlier this year and already into the playoffs with 8 RBI coming into this plate appearances, he's really proven why.
Seems to be a sure thing defensively on any ball that is hit towards him. And he hits this one to left center field. It will drop and go all the way to the wall. Picked up by the left fielder DeSantos. Spins and fires. Not in time as the throw is cut off. Tyler Plumpton is in to score. Barrie takes a 3-1 lead.
First baseman number 35, Malik Williams.
Great hit there from Hernandez. Power going the opposite way into the gap. Maves, even with his speed, was held up at third. Don't want to take that same risk they had with Williams in the last inning. With Rob Butler heading out here, it could be the end of the day for Sam Green.
So 2 out in the inning. Manager Rob Butler out for a visit. We'll see if he asks for the baseball. He wants to talk to his starting pitcher for a minute and decides to leave him in. Well, keep in mind, Green got out of that 3rd inning, allowing only 1 run, and can do so again here with 2 outs in the 4th. That's really what Rob Butler wants. Keep this score low and close and give his lineup a chance to do damage when they get up in their half of the inning. But it has not been an easy road for Sam Green this afternoon.
This Baycats lineup, just like in Game 1, have come out aggressive, swinging the bats early and often, but also with great discipline as well.
First pitch swinging is Williams, and he lifts it foul behind us.
Green, 6 walks already. He hasn't even completed 4 innings.
Ryan Rio on deck. Barrie looking to break out with a big lead here. They're up by 2. Here's the pitch from Green. On the ground and through into right field for a base hit. Scores a run and another. Maves and Hernandez both in a score on an RBI single by Malik Williams.
Malik Williams proving himself a great playoff performer. That's his 3rd RBI of the series. And doing what he does best, just placing one the other way. Just a great seeing eye single from him. A big hole over there between second and first base, between Chiquetto and Mara. Malik Williams takes advantage.
So the Baycats with their biggest lead of the afternoon, up by 4, and they're not done yet. Rio hits this one through into right field. Holding at second is Williams. So some slow feet on the bases. Williams at second, Rio at first, Nolan Macabrota comes to the plate for the 3rd time.
Well, that lack of speed on the bases won't be a problem if they can get this guy to deliver. Nolan Macabrota, who had a single his last time up. Remember that home run in Game 1. He's had an incredible year, hit over 330 in the regular season. Definitely a contender for IBL Rookie of the Year.
Landon Leach, who pitched really well out of the bullpen in game 1, I thought. He's down there doing some stretches for Toronto.
Seen a few guys up and moving around. Saw Dustin Richardson over there as well. Julian Valdez is stretching a little bit as well. So Rob Butler's got plenty of options should he decide to bring someone in for Sam Green, who's seemingly struggling to get out of this inning.
He's really trying to get as much out of Green as he can here, though. 5-1. This one fouled off. Often in an elimination game, managers will give their starting pitcher a short hook. You see that a lot in Major League Baseball. But Green has been given every opportunity to pitch his way through this here today. No margin for error when you're a game away from elimination. Here's the pitch. Inside and low. 2-1 now the count.
Well, the issue for Green is that right off the bat, it seemed like this entire outing for him, he's been pitching with guys on behind him. The most he's gone with nobody on behind him is the second inning where he got the first 2 outs and the first 2 batters, and then it's been stressful ever since.
This one hit pretty deep to right center field. And it'll go all the way to the wall. It'll score 2. It's a double. With Williams and Rio both in the score for Barrie. Nolan Macabrona cashes in a pair. Barrie up 7-1.
Well, it was a great relay throw over there from Jesse Hodges, who came over all the way from right field to field that ball. But Dan Mara at second base, I'm not sure if there was a lack of communication between him and Jose Vinicio. But it seemed like they had a lot of trouble figuring out where to throw that ball, because Mara hesitated. He looked like he pump faked over to third. And then that throw ended up going home. It was on line, but too late to get Ryan Rio. Someone's out over to talk to Marcus Connect in center field.
So hopefully everything's okay with him. Timeout on the field as they check on him, make sure everything's fine. And that looks to be the case. So the Baycats not done yet. 2 out in the inning. Adam Ott is going to come to the plate here.
Yeah, just like that, the 9th batter of the inning about to come up for the Baycats. Just seems like each of their last few home appearances, even going back into the regular season, it's just been incredible offensively.
Yeah, batted around a couple of times, 2 or 3 times here on game 1 of this series Thursday night, and we'll do so again here in the 4th inning today. Adam Ott for the 3rd time. He is 0 for 2. Green will try to get this 3rd out of the inning. Barrie on top by 6. And Odd with a major league fly ball. Right field. It's playable, and the catch is made by Jesse Hodges right on the right field line. Baycats explode for 5 to take a 2-1 lead and make it a 7-1 ball game. Julius will call innings 5 and 6 for us when we return. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Illuminated side.
7-1 Baycats. We head into the fifth inning in Game 3 of this IBL quarterfinal series at Vincent Strode Stadium.
First baseman number 3.
It'll be Mike Cicchetto, the former Baycats, to lead it off for Toronto. Number 8 hitter in the Leafs lineup, and then it'll be Dan Mara, and then back to the top with Jose Vinicio after him. First pitch to Cicchetto from Benitez is just low for ball 1. Benitez now with some extra run support. Baycats exploding for 5 runs in that fourth inning as it's grounded foul from Cicchetto on the left side. Cicchetto grounded out to third his first time up. That was back in the second inning. 1-1 is on the outside corner for strike 2. I got to the ballpark today, passed by Mike Cicchetto in the parking lot, say hi, how are you? And didn't even get a look over. He was that locked in for this game. He knows what the Leafs need to get done this afternoon to keep their season alive. 1-2 from Benitez, driven deep to left field. Back is Macabrota at the track and gone. Mike Cicchetto against his former team on a 2-strike pitch. Blasts it over the left field wall, and the Maple Leafs add another one at 7-2. Nolan Macabrota, the left fielder, went back on it to see if there was any play to be made, and that was a no-doubter off the bat of Mike Cicchetto. So yet another leadoff home run against Juan Benitez. That's the second today, the one earlier from John Salazzo. And I'll bring up Dan Mara.
He actually had a good game one. He had a bases clearing double, couple ribbies.
Another low ball, 2-0.
He didn't have 7 RBIs.
Mara grounded out to first his first time up. That was leading off in the third. That one just high from Benitez, 3-0. Wonder if Benitez is rattled from that home run. But he's working quickly here, 3-0. Just low again. So 4-pitch walk to Dan Mara after the leadoff home run from Mike Cicchetto. And I'll bring up Jose Vinicio, who has seemingly had a tough playoff so far. He came into this game 3 for 8, but those within that 8 at-bats, 4 strikeouts. He's added another 2 today against Benitez. But Benitez looking for the first out. Lead from Mara at first, pitch to Vinicio is in there for strike 1. Double play opportunity for Barrie. The defense playing even with the bag up the middle. And Vinicio, just like that, down 0-2 after the 4-pitch walk to Mara. Vinicio taking his time getting back into the batter's box. Benitez looking in carefully. He comes set. The pitch up high. Mara with a modest lead, being held on by Williams at first. Vinicio drives that one up the middle, but it's going to get down for a base hit. First hit of the game for Vinicio. So after the home run, the first 2 reach against Benitez. Still nobody out.
So as Jordan Castaldo comes to the plate here, I was talking to Baycats catcher Hayden Jaco. He is in uniform, walking around here, and I asked him about his status for today, and he was originally in the lineup as the starting catcher and was swapped out for Tyler Plumpton. Hayden said he may be needed out of the bullpen today, so he's ready to go. Of course, Baycats really have a shortage of relief arms right now, and we're going to see how long they can keep Juan Benitez in here today.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, Benitez said his goal for today was to get 7.
Carlos Sano, the closer, pitched 2 innings last night, the 8th and the 9th, and apparently he was iffy about potentially being in that 2-inning role again today, so they may only be able to use him for 1.
On the ground, just foul past the first base bag.
But again, just a shortage of high leverage arms in that Baycat bullpen. Really have them in a pinch, pitching-wise. And
seemed to be an issue for them all season long. That shortage can come back to bite you when you have your relief pitchers going 2-3 days in a row if you need them to. Makes them a little bit less reliable down the stretches. Castaldo gets a new bat.
Josh Matlow squeezed every bit of juice he possibly could out of Ryan Lacasse in game 1.
Well, Lacasse is available today. I don't imagine Matlow would go to him first by any means, but he is in uniform as well. And keep in mind, Jacob got the win in relief in the final regular season game in Brantford.
He is a good pitcher.
He is a very good pitcher. He pitched in the All-Star game.
Yeah, it just hasn't been used a lot in that capacity because he's so versatile defensively elsewhere. And of course, you want his bat in the lineup. So
it seemed like at the game in Brantford, those Red Sox hitters were surprised that Jacob was coming at them with the velocity he was, knowing that he's not primarily a pitcher, but he can give you some quality innings. He only gave up 1 hit through 2 outings this year.
And you don't need a DH for him. You wouldn't want a DH
exactly.
for him. So.
Well, he got the start behind the plate in game 1. Plumpton started yesterday as well. 2-2 pitch from Benitez. Swung on and missed. There's an IMP North strikeout for Benitez. Number 4 for him on the day. First out and a big one.
Catcher number 9, Justin Mara.
Benitez has had just 1 3-up, 3-down inning today, and that was the 4th. Really bounced back nicely from a 3rd inning where he gave up a pair of walks and has done a nice job keeping very comfortably on top here, letting them add to this lead, which is now 5.
First pitch here is outside to Justin Mara, who walked both of his first 2 times up and has been a major contributor for the Leafs' efforts in these playoffs so far. A couple home runs, 1 in each of the last 2 games. 0-1 pitch is popped up and should be playable. Back of 3rd, it's going to drift towards foul territory and catch by Macabroda. Had to 2-hand that one a little bit in foul territory, but that is a huge play from the Baycats left fielder.
Yeah, Macabroda had a long way to go to get to that ball. Unfortunately, it was a mile high off the bat of Mara. Not an easy catch to make. He came a long way.
It kept drifting further and further, not just foul, but distance-wise down that 3rd and left field line. Macabroda a long way to go. Adam Ott was giving chase as well, a 3rd baseman, but he had a much tougher play on it, having to go straight back. But now 2 down here. First pitch to Marcus Connect is inside.
And Connect loves hitting in this park. This is not a home run hitter's park, but he has hit some long balls here. Has power. And a big blast here would go a long way to help the Leafs get back in this game.
Well, big reason why he's in that cleanout spot today. He flies that one into shallow center field. Like running on is, can you see Joe? He will make the catch. That ball just kept hanging up for Ejo. Didn't have to make too much of an effort, but the Baycats get out of the jam. Maple Leafs leave 2 on. Still 7-2 for Barrie as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
At Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Back live at Vintage Throne Stadium, Julius and Ben with you. Did I get your name right? My brain is fried in this heat. You're Julius, aren't you?
You got it.
Inning brought to you by Phaetrum, aluminum and siding, quality above all else. It's a wonder I can remember my own name at this point.
It'll be Roy Sandor to lead it off for the Barrie Baycats here in the bottom of the fifth inning, and a new pitcher in the ball game. After Sam Green gave up 5 in the fourth, it'll be Landon Leach taking over for him.
Scorching hot afternoon here at the ballpark. 25-30 with the Humidex when we started. Definitely even warmer and muggier than that now.
Landon Leach pitched here in relief on Thursday night in Game 1. First pitch is a ball outside to Roy Sando. That Game 1, he gave it 1 hit in 1 inning. Had a strikeout. Didn't have anybody score against him, so clean inning for Landon Leach. He's back out at Vintage Throne Stadium today. 1-0 Ando is inside.
Yeah, Leach, one of the lone bright spots in that Game 1 for Toronto here on Thursday night. Pitched very well out of the bullpen. No surprise he's back out here today in this elimination situation. 25-year-old throws very well.
That one catches the zone. Now 2-1 on Ando. And Leach was a guy that the Maple Leafs had kind of round out their rotation during the regular season, but seems that he'll be used primarily as a reliever in these playoffs.
Toronto native, went to high school in Pickering, and was the second round of the Minnesota Twins in the 2017 draft.
High quality arm for the Leafs. The 3-1 to Ando is way high. So Ando draws a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Tyler Plumpton.
Catcher number 24, Tyler Plumpton.
Well, Plumpton with a pair of walks and a run scored. He showed a lot of patience against the Toronto pitchers here today. Sam Green had real control problems today for Toronto. 3 walks in the third, a pair of walks in the fourth. Finally caught up to him in that 4th inning as the Baycats put 5 runs on the board. And now Landon Leach having some trouble finding the strike zone.
Yeah, not what you want to see from the Leafs right away. They do have another pitcher throwing. It looks like Julian Valdez, another right-hander throwing for the Leafs in their bullpen. Ando with a modest lead. The 1-0 to Plumpton is another one. It hits him this time.
He's been high and inside on most of these pitches that he's missing. Not quite sure why, but this is not typical for Landon Leach to have problems finding the strike zone. And better be careful here with a 5-run Barrie lead. This game can get out of hand in a hurry.
Well, Leach pushing the envelope here on what he can get away with inside. That one comes back to bite him. He hits Plumpton after the leadoff walk to Ando. So I'll bring up Kyle Maves, number 9 hitter for Barrie today. Defense playing in for Toronto. Shows bunt, and it's outside. Pulls it back.
Well, Ando definitely the fleeter of foot of the 2 base runners. Him and Plumpton on base right now. See if Maves tries to lay one down again here with this 1-0 count.
Defense still playing in. He shows bunt. The pitch from Leach. Up high again. Ando had a good secondary lead there. With Mara standing up, he really had to hustle to get back, avoid a throw.
Well, often pitchers will do that. They'll go up in the zone if they think the guy at the plate is going to bunt, because you can maybe get a ball, a pop-up to glance off the top of the bat. Maves, on the other hand, trying to get on top of it and laying it down.
Shows bunt again, pulls it back. It's inside. That was a breaking ball from Leach. There's a great discipline here for Kyle Maves, and we're going to see a mound visit for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, interesting with a 3-0 count here. As they're going to have a conference on the mound, and that'll use up another mound visit.
So that'll be the 3rd mound visit of the day for the Maple Leafs. Already, we're not even through 5 innings. Valdez still throwing in their bullpen. Just seems like one of those days Maple Leafs backs are against the wall, and this third game of the IBL quarterfinal. They're down 2-0 in the series. And it seemed to me like they're just trying to piece together anything they can today to come out of Barrie with a win. So corner defense playing in for Toronto. 3-0 here to Kyle Maves. Let's see if he has a green light. And it's down low and inside, another walk. Kyle Maves gets on, and just like that, the Baycats have the bases loaded yet again.
Hard to explain the control problems that the Toronto pitchers have had here in this ball game. First Sam Green, now Landon Leach. Leach doing himself no favors here, loading the bases with nobody out, and Barrie has every opportunity now to put this score comfortably out of reach, and now Rob Butler's going to come out and chat with the pitcher again.
Well, it looks like Valdez is ready. He's making his way out to the gate by the bullpen. That was 3 batters, and 3 batters that Landon Leach would surely like to have back. A walk, a hit batter, and another walk. So he'll give it up to Julian Valdez, who will inherit 3 base runners as it comes in here in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll take a quick break and introduce the pitcher up next. You're watching Baycats Baseball on Rogers TV and Baycats TV on YouTube. Huge spot here for Kenice Ejo, who will come up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Still nobody out. Bases loaded against new pitcher in the game for Toronto, Julian Valdez.
Well, a high-pressure situation, but a quality arm out there on the mound in Valdez, and a 5-run Baycats lead. Situation here where Toronto might settle for a ground ball and try to just turn a double play here. Get a couple of outs on the board before this one gets out of hand.
Huge opportunity for Kenice Ejo to add on to a 5-run lead for Barrie. First pitch from Valdez. On the ground, left side, through for a base hit. Plumpton scores, Ando scores. Plumpton stays at third base. The throw home is cut off and it gets by Salazzo. Great effort from Mara to keep that in front and avoid allowing another run, but Kenice Ejo comes through. Another run on the board for Barrie. It's 8-2.
Well, if they had away Plumpton, he would have got in on that ball that got away, but they're taking no chances. And again, that little bit of a botch situation with Malik Williams earlier in the ballgame. Have to wonder if that factors into the Baycats maybe using a little more caution now at third base. But a 6-run lead, no need to give away any outs.
So that run charged to Leach, who's also responsible for the runners on third and second. That's Plumpton and Maves, respectively. Ejo on first. Defense playing in for Toronto. The first pitch to Hernandez is low.
Well, Valdez made 18 appearances in the 2024 regular season, all but one of them in relief. 30 innings of work, Put together a 3-1 record.
1-0 for 2 Hernandez. On the ground to second base. Nice snag there from Mara. The try for 2. The throw into first is in time to get Hernandez. But a run scores. Barrie takes a 9-2 lead. No RBI there for Hernandez. Still a runner on third. It's Kyle Maves.
Yeah, that situation, I think you take it, get the 2 outs. A nice play by the second baseman, Dan Mara, with the spin throw. Jose Vinicio is reliable as they come on the double play, and it's a 4-6-3. A couple of important outs here for Toronto. Now a 7-run Baycat lead. But we know what this Toronto offense is capable of.
Malik Williams fixing his shin guard as he steps into the batter's box for the fourth time today, pardon me. Ground into a fielder's choice in the first and has a walk and a single and a run scored. 9-2 Barrie. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. A big cut and a miss on an outside pitch.
And that double play erases arguably the Baycats' 2 fastest base runners, Ejo and Hernandez.
We still have Kyle Maves on third, but 2 out for Barrie. Toronto's defense back to a little bit more relaxed depth on the infield. Up high on that one, it's 1-1.
Well, the Baycats had a 13-0 lead over Toronto here on Thursday night, and the Maple Leafs made it interesting. It was too little too late when all was said and done, but you don't feel safe even with a 7-run lead against this ball club, still only here in the 5th inning.
1-1 to Williams, on the ground to short. Vinicio gathers, a looping throw over to first. Is in plenty of time for out number 3, but the Baycats tack on 2 more. It's 9-2 as we head to the 6th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Top 6 of the ballpark, 9-2. Barrie Baycats lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is Game 3 of the first round IBL playoff series. The Baycats, with a win today, will sweep the Maple Leafs, but Toronto holding on to hopes of forcing a Game 4 that would happen Wednesday night at Christie Pitts. But Barrie in the driver's seat, 9-2, and Benitez out to work his 6th inning of work. It's the 3rd time he'll see Salazzo lead off against him, and he takes first pitch low.
So much playoff history over the years between these 2 clubs, Toronto and Barrie. They always seem to find a way to find each other at some point during the playoffs, and you might refer to the 2022 series, which is the last time that Toronto upset Barrie in a playoff round, and they'd win 11 straight regular season games after that.
1-1 is low again.
August 7th, Toronto snapped that streak in a late innings win over the Baycats at Christie Pitts, and game that resulted in some suspensions and certainly provided lots to talk about in the weeks leading up to this first-round playoff matchup.
Strong take there from Salazzo, and it was Salazzo who led off that ninth inning with a walk and later scored that game-winning run. There's a drive into center field. Canisijo came in. He had to go back on it, but he still makes the catch rather comfortably, one down.
Yeah, wind really hasn't been a factor here at all this afternoon.
Number 19, Jesse Hodges.
Nice job by Ejo to recover after coming in a couple of steps quickly, retreated, got himself in place to make the catch. Another hard hit ball by Jonathan Salazzo.
Still just 3 hits for the Maple Leafs today. One was a Salazzo home run, another Chiquetto home run, and Vinicio of the single in the 5th. First pitch to Hodges is down the middle for strike 1.
So on the out-of-town scoreboard, we've got London over Hamilton, 3-2, and then Sunday Night Baseball. You can watch when you get home from the ballpark. Guelph and Chatham-Kent, 7 o'clock start.
And the Royals with a chance to advance with a win tonight over the Barnstormers.
Yeah, we could have 2 advancing teams by the end of today.
1-1 to Hodges. Flown into left field and deep, and that ball is gone. In a blink of an eye, that line drive from Jesse Hodges clears the left field wall. It's the 3rd homer today for the Maple Leafs. It's 9-3 for Barrie.
Well, I would be very interested in looking up the stat on what percentage of home runs Juan Benitez have given up this year that have been solo shots. Seem to be a lot of them, and that has been the case today. 3 home runs off Benitez, all of them with the bases empty.
Left fielder number 8, Ryan Dos Santos.
You never like to give up a home run, but when you have them, if you keep the bases empty, that puts you in a good position for your team to win the game.
There's a line drive just past a diving Roy Sando at second base. So right after the home run from Hodges, Ryan Dos Santos gets on base with a single.
Royce, one of the more athletic players in the Baycats infield defensively, and got a good read on that ball, made the diving attempt. Royce often comes up with those. That one just out of his reach.
Well, the thing with Juan Benitez, you mentioned the home runs allowed. He does give up quite a few solo shots, which to his credit, if you're going to give up home runs, that's the way you want to do it. Nobody on base. We saw the one earlier from Salazzo and Chiquetto, as a matter of fact, both led off their respective innings. Meanwhile, should mention there was a defensive replacement for the Baycats. Noah Hall coming in to play first base in relief of Malik Williams, who was slow to run down the first baseline. His last at bat at the end of the inning. There's a fly ball to left field. Will it stay fair? It is just foul.
Yeah, that was the right call. And the third base umpire down there right in front of it, watching it all the way. Nolan Macabrona providing some assistance. You knew which way he was going to lean on that one, but
if you're the Baycats, today we have 4 umpires on the crew today. Game 1, there was 3. In this situation with a runner on first base and only 3 umpires, you wouldn't have an umpire down that line.
That's a great point. Third base umpire is Dana Case today, and he was in a great position to make that call.
0-2 to Chiquetto. Did he go? No, he did not.
And that was first base umpire Ryan Hern on that call. So a 4-man crew here today.
2-strike count here for Benitez, working quickly. It's fouled back to the screen.
The power of Michael Chiquetto. We've seen it in this series.
Well, opportunity here for Benitez. He would love a ground ball here that could force a double play. 1-2. On the ground to third. Off the leg of Auden, bounding past Hernandez at short. Long round of second base by Dos Santos. He'll head back in safely. Tough luck for Adam Auden. That's going to be the first error of the game for Barrie.
Well, the carom off Odd almost ricocheted directly back to Brandon Hernandez. And if it had been a little closer to him, I wonder if he might have been able to make a play on that over at second base with Roy Sando covering the bag. It wasn't the case, but Odd already hurt his shin or his ankle in an at-bat on a foul ball at the plate earlier today, and I don't know if that was the same one that the ball hit off of, but he's either going to have 2 bruises or 1 big one tonight.
Well, he kept it on the infield, which for Barrie, that was good. That possibly could have saved the situation that would have been runners on the corners. But right now, Chiquetto on first, Dos Santos on second, still 1 out. First pitch is just outside against Dan Mara.
And you see Adam Odd walking gingerly and shaking off that left leg. So it was the right one that he fouled the pitch off of. And now he'll have a bruise on the left one as well.
Called strike, it's 1-1. Benitez working with a little bit more urgency. Came into this inning 75 pitches. It's still a double play in order for Barrie. That one, nice block from Tyler Plumpton.
Adam Odd is going to be first in line for the Ice Packs at the conclusion. Actually, second behind Juan Benitez probably. The pitcher always gets the bigger ice bag, and then I'm sure Odd will be right behind him.
Well, it's playoffs. These guys know what it takes. Have to make those sacrifices. 2-1 is just outside. Missed that outside low corner of the strike zone. A great take from Mara.
Juan better be careful here. He threw both of his arms out in frustration and then kind of smacked the ball down to the ground with his glove. Home plate umpires don't like that. If you want a close call, that's not the way to get it on the next one.
Home plate umpire today is Ben Rosen. Here's a 3-1. That one's a called strike.
Right back over the heart of the plate. No way Benitez was not going to get that one on the 3-1. And now a big pitch coming up here.
Crowd into it, another 2-strike count. Here's the pitch. Outside again. Benitez loses Mara, and the bases are loaded.
Well, Benitez wants home plate umpire Ben Rosen to stretch out those corners, and he didn't do so in that at-bat. That one before was a lot closer than that one.
So Andrew White coming out to talk to Juan Benitez, and out to join, there'll be Tyler Plumpton and Brandon Hernandez. Huge spot here for the Maple Leafs. First time they've had the bases loaded today. And it's exactly who you want up. The top of the order coming up, it's Jose Vinicio. Some bodies starting to stretch in that Barrie bullpen. Hayden Jaco, one of them, as well as Chris Lazar, who hasn't seen action in quite a long time. It's been at least 3 weeks for Lazar.
So a 6-run lead, 1 out in the inning, and a ground ball back to the middle infield. Where do you go? Do you get that? You go for the double play and get out of the inning? I would think so. You get the speedy Jose Vinicio at the plate, though. You know he can beat out a double play ground ball.
So there's the first mound visit off the board for Barrie. 1 out against Vinicio, who drives that one into center field. Canisijo back on it, making the catch. Dos Santos tags, and he will score standing up. So sacrifice fly from Jose Vinicio. 2 runs here in the 6th for Toronto. It's 9-4.
Well, they all count, and the deficit's still 5 runs, but that might be an important run for Toronto when all is said and done. You never know. A costly out, though, as it brings Castaldo to the plate with 2 away now. And Benitez will try to get his team off the field here in the 6th inning.
Castaldo 0 for 2 today. Had a walk and was stranded at second back in the 3rd. Last inning struck out against Benitez. Check swing, grounder to second. Roy Sando. Easy flip to first, and in time to get Castaldo. So 1 run, last one on the sacrifice fly. Earlier, a Jesse Hodges solo home run. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-4 Barrie. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycats scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Back live at Vintage Throne Stadium, Baycats looking to add to a 9-4 lead as Ryan Rio comes to the plate. Our sixth inning brought to you by Moving.ca. Two small men with big hearts moving, making moving stress-free for over 35 years.
We're at the bottom of the sixth inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy and our fantastic Baycats TV crew on Game 3. First round IBL series. Baycats looking to close this one out. They are in the driver's seat, 9-4. And the heart of the order coming up, Ryan Rio to lead it off against Julian Valdez. First pitch is a home run cut from Rio, but he waves and misses. Baycats putting up 8 of their 9 runs over the past 3 innings. And he sees that breaking ball low. Maple Leafs have really relied on the long ball today. They've got 3 of them. Meanwhile, the Baycats with 8 hits today, none of them over the fence. Stringing them together has been a real key to their success. 1-1 from Valdez. Gets Rio. That's a bread and butter pitch for Valdez.
And again, the other interesting fact in this series, the Baycats have never trailed. They've always been tied or in the lead for every game of this series, coming right into the 6th inning here of Game 3. So 23-plus innings now with not having to play with a deficit. I mean, that's puts your team in a fantastic position. You couldn't ask for anything more if you're a manager, and that's one of the things Josh Matlow told us before the series. He wanted to see this team get earlier leads, and that's exactly what they've responded with.
1-2 from Valdez. Outside. Well, the Maple Leafs had a good opportunity to take their first lead of the series back in the the 3rd inning. At the time, it was a 1-1 score. They had Jordan Castaldo at second base with Marcus Connect up, who ended up flying out to right field. Closest the Leafs have been in the series so far to take the lead, but they trail by 5 here. Bottom 6. Rio grounds that one foul. He's fought off a couple of good pitches to stay alive in this at-bat.
Had a really strong second half for the Baycats after slower than usual getting out of the gate, but put that behind him quickly, and he's done well in the playoffs so far. Despite 0 for 4 last night, he's contributed again here tonight. Scored a run and has reached base twice here this afternoon.
2-2. Up high again. Ryan Rio remaining patient but protective. And the crowd really getting behind the hometown kid.
This is a chirpy crowd here this afternoon. I was walking around between innings while you were announcing, and quite a buzz through the ballpark here. They're really into this game.
Doesn't get better than this. Playoff baseball. Full count pitch to Rio. Pops it, foul again, out of play. Rio's done a great job here. Valdez came on and got the last couple outs. Or all 3 outs in that 5th inning, taking over for Landon Leach, who really struggled, but Valdez has held the fort down for Toronto thus far, but he's struggling against Rio. Full count. Here's the pitch. Rio spoils it again.
Well, Rio knows what it takes to win an IBL championship. He came up as a rookie, the tail end of the Baycats championship run prior to 2020, and most of these guys on the Baycats joining the team the new era under Josh Matlow, but Ryan, one of the few players that joined this franchise before that transition and knows what it takes to get to a championship and win it.
Delivery. Outside, a patient Ryan Rio works his way to first base.
Now you get to the playoffs, and this is the time of the year where nobody's thinking about their personal stats or the team lead in different offensive categories. It's all about the ball club, and it's all about winning each game. And that's the focus of everybody on both sides. I mean, you have to take that approach, and nobody does it better than Ryan Rio. You saw him there, a nice job on that at bat, taking the walk and just getting on base to lead the inning.
Well, that was a sentiment that Josh Matlow echoed to me as well. This team has been very selfless over the last half of the season and into these playoffs because they know that these are the games that really matter. And they're at this point now, they would need 8 more to win a championship, and they're at the point where they're trying to count them down, but they know that they have to take it one game at a time, and at this point they've done a good job of that. Up 9-4 here in Game 3.
Well, I mean, you could one game at a time, one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time in the postseason, and so much can happen.
Mike Chiquetta playing directly in front of Ryan Rio leading off. A great take from Macabrota there. It's 2-0.
Rob Butler was telling me that, you know, these guys understand you have to have a short memory in baseball or you'll never survive. And things like the 11-game losing streak against Barrie and the confrontation on the field that happened on August 7th with the suspensions, you got to forget about all that. And a brand new game is a brand new start. It's 0-0. You go into every playoff series that way, and you go into every game that way as well.
2-0 to Macabrota, fouled off. That's the thing. Baseball is such a game of failure where you know that well over half the time you are not going to succeed in this game. It's so hard to win games, let alone get a base hit in any at-bat. Macabrota here. He's going to see a 2-1. And a wild swing. Great break on that pitch from Valdez.
It's funny, I never thought of baseball as being a game of failure, but really, you're right. It's, you know, except for the umpires. Now, could you imagine if the umpires had the same success rate as the players?
That'd be wild.
That would be awful. That would be awful to watch.
I don't want to think about that.
The fans would be relentless. They've got to be ready like, what, 98, 99% of the calls? I mean, you know, if you're missing even 3% of the calls, you can't survive as an umpire. Now with these graphs and charts, too, it's everything's out there.
Exactly. All eyes are on. 3-2 to Macabrota. He went around on that pitch, it looked like. The appeal over to third base. Agrees with that. That's Dana Case over at third base, the umpire. And first out of the inning is a big one for Valdez, striking out Macabrota.
Yeah, clearly he offered, and I think Nolan may be more frustrated at himself than the call as he tosses the bat into the dugout in the helmet as well. Clearly fooled on that pitch by Valdez.
It's hard to hide that check swing when your body has all that momentum on the turn, trying to get as much behind the swing as possible. It's that much harder to hold up and, you know, make your case for a check swing.
Toronto's down to 3 mound visits here, and you saw the catcher Dan Merrow turn around and talk to the home plate umpire before going out. So assuming this is a signals conversation and they won't be charged. Often the umpire will walk out to the mound and listen in on that conversation.
Adam On will come up here.
No, that's a mound visit. They've charged them with another one there, so.
It's down to 2 are the Maple Leafs now. We're not even through 6 innings. Adam On with 1 out. Ryan Rio still at first base. First pitch to On, a big swing, a fastball outside from Valdez.
I guess it really, depends on the honesty of the catcher. Right? What are you talking about? Are we talking about signals? Are we talking about defensive strategy here? I mean, if the whole infield comes in, then it's pretty clear that that's what they're talking about. But if it's anything other than signals, a mound visit is charged.
Liner into left field, dropping for a base hit. Adam Odd with his first knock of the day, 2 on for Barrie.
And good to see for Adam Odd, who, as we've mentioned, he's got a couple of banged up lower legs, either shins or ankles, not sure, but taking a line drive off one at third, and then fouling one off the other leg earlier in the ball game. Nice for him to get a hit here in this 6th inning.
Well, tough day for him, not even just physically like you mentioned, but had come into that plate appearance 0 for 3. So a hit will go a long way for him and his confidence. That brings up Roy Sando, 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Called strike, and Mara looked over at first base. Adam Ott had a great secondary lead, but Mike Giacchetto, the first baseman, not holding him on. That one inside on Ando. Really had to stretch to get out of the way of that. 1-1. Tyler Plumpton's on deck.
If you're Toronto, this is the part of the order you really want to go after. Odd, Ando. Plumpton is a tough out. Maeve's the number 9 hitter behind him. If you have trouble against the bottom half of the order, you're not going to do very well against the top.
1-1. Offered at by Ando. The appeal to first is called for a swing. First base umpire today is Ryan Hern. It's hard for these Baycats hitters to hold off on these pitches from Valdez, it looks like. Ryan Rio led off the inning with a walk, but he really worked his way to get that result. A lot of foul balls, spoiling off pitches around the plate. And a lines it over the first baseman and into right field. Ryan Rio getting the wave around third. The throw in to home plate is not in time. Great hustle from Ryan Rio. Roy Sando knocks him in. It's 10-4.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton.
Ryan Rio coming home with a head of steam like those trains we see crossing Highway 26. Nothing was going to stop him when he rounded third base. He's able to get in there and beat that throw. Aggressive decision to send him. A 10-4 ball game now.
Well, Josh Matlow mentioned to me the aggressiveness on the base paths definitely intensifies when you get to the playoffs, and a great example of it right there. Andrew White sending the big man Ryan Rio on that hit to right field. There's a knock into left center field. That ball will get down and all the way to the wall. Adam Odd rounding third. He will score. Roy Sando getting the wave. The throw to the plate is not in time. Tyler Plumpton a 2 RBI double.
And the march to the mound from Maple Leaf manager Rob Butler. He will ask for the baseball, and Julian Valdez will head off as his afternoon comes to an end.
New pitcher in the ball game for the Maple Leafs. Will introduce the new arm when we can return on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. 3 runs already for Barrie here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kyle Mace to come up, and he'll face yet another pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now a lefty, it's Adam Mara. Tyler Plumpton took advantage of the first pitch he saw from Julian Valdez. And
you look at the bottom of the order for the Baycats. These have not been easy outs today. They have drawn, well, the bottom 3 have drawn 4 walks.
Mara's first pitch to Maves is called strike.
Maves with a pair, Plumpton with a pair, Ando with a walk. Collectively, they've reached base 7 times. So when the bottom of the order is producing.
Little flare out to left field. Ryan Dos Santos coming in on it, makes the catch. Finally, it seems like for the Maple Leafs, that's the second out.
This lineup is very dangerous when the bottom of the lineup is going the way they are today and showing a lot of patience and getting their base runners that way.
So Kenice Ejo will be the 7th batter of the inning for Barrie, and he has reached 3 of the 4 times he's been up today. 2 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Led off the game with a double and has scored twice. He's had an incredible game as well. That one on the ground to short. Vinicio charges after it. The throw on to first is in time to get Ejo. So only a couple pitches needed for Adam Mara to get out of this inning. But the Baycats tack on 3 more. It's 12-4 for the Baycats. We'll have the 7th inning coming up next. Ben Davy back on the mic. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from Hern and Barrie Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Moving.ca. For all your moving needs for over 35 years, Moving.ca. The original 2 men who just happen to be small, who make moving stress-free. 2 small men with big hearts moving. We always have a big heart for you at Moving.ca. From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
To the top of the 7th inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium, Ben Davy and Julius Hern in a Baycat lead by a score of 12-4. Justin Mara will come to the plate against Juan Benitez, who has thrown 97 pitches through 6 innings. It's been a slow, drawn-out war between these 2 clubs here this afternoon. It's taken us 2.5 hours to play 6 innings. Both these teams leaving everything on the field here today, especially Toronto, facing an elimination situation here, trailing in this series 2-0.
Benitez had just 3 outings this year where he went at least 7 innings.
Well, you mentioned 7 innings, definitely the goal for him today, and it looks like he's he's out there to try to do it. Toronto will have something to say about that, though. We mentioned before, Hayden Jaco, normally a position player, is available to pitch today if needed. Carlos Sano, under normal circumstances, the plan would be to give him the ball for the 8th and the 9th, but he worked 2 innings last night. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Good energy in the crowd here today at Vintage Throne Stadium. 2-2 pitch, missed outside. You look at the crooked numbers for Barrie on the scoreboard again today. A 5-run fourth, pair of runs in the fifth, and then 3 in the sixth. On the ground to Roy Sando. Gobbles it up, makes the throw in time for the out.
Bit of a troublesome hop there for Ando on that roller. But he stayed in front of it. Bobbled it a little bit on the when he first made contact with it, but plenty of time to get Mara.
These fans here at Vintage Throne Stadium have seen enough Barrie Toronto baseball over the years to know that no lead is fully safe. But it felt like in the bottom of that 6th inning, this crowd really came to life. This one's popped up in the infield. Juan Benitez right on the mound. Who's going to take it? It'll be Brandon Hernandez coming in at the last minute and unable to make the grab. We've seen this a lot this year, confusion with the infielders on those high pop-ups.
It just seems like Benitez isn't getting out of the way quick enough. You know, as you're falling off the mound, you're disoriented. You don't know where the ball is when you first make contact. You really have to rely on your infielders to let you know where it is. And then once you get to that point, you have to give it up, you know, to the closest guy, the guys that are calling you off. Because as a pitcher, it's such a hard play to make.
We saw some confusion with Brad Grieveson and Noah Hull on a pop-up that was costly in a game a couple of weeks ago. And on that one, it almost looked like Juan was thinking about trying to make that catch himself. And I personally never like to see a pitcher in that position when the ball's up that high in the air, unless it's a easy, soft looper back to the mound. Somebody in that infield needs to take charge, and the pitcher needs to be getting out of the way.
Well, especially if you're standing on the foot of the mound like Benitez was. He was still touching clay as that ball was coming down, and Hernandez called him off.
Yeah, you got the slope to deal with as well. You like to see the infield take charge, somebody clearly call for it, and then the pitcher gets out of the way or plays traffic cop if necessary. Literally grab some guy and get him out of there. He's thinking about interfering with whoever has called for it. Salazzo hits that hard and through. It's into right field. 2 base runners for the Leafs.
Right fielder number 19, Jesse Hodges.
So now that was scored an error on Hernandez. Tough luck for the Baycats infield, and because of that error, now it's a runner in scoring position.
I'm not sure if it was a case of it just not being called early enough. It just looked like to be a confusing situation until the last minute. Hernandez wasn't really able to get himself in a good position to make that. Should have been an easy catch. Called strike to Jesse Hodges. He didn't like that one. It's 0-1.
Still luckily for Barrie. Double play still in order here. One batted ball could get them out of this inning.
Hernandez is definitely among the more reliable infielders that the Baycats have. He's a sure thing more often than not. Doesn't get rattled easily. He's confident, takes charge when needed. But unfortunately not the case on that pop-up.
Yeah, it just seemed like the lack of communication on that play was a bit disorienting for not just him, but maybe the entire infield as a whole. Because he ran in to try and make that catch, and it just kept, you know, carrying back, and it seemed like he overran it a little bit.
Pitch is low and in, 1-2. So double play scenario here for the Baycats with the middle infield at double play depth. Hernandez and Ando ready for anything hit to the middle. 1 out in the inning. Pitch from Benitez. A pop up behind home plate. Tyler Plumpton goes back, and he makes the catch.
Great awareness there from Tyler Plumpton. You can see he was holding that mask as he was making his way towards the backstop and didn't throw it aside until he knew that he had a play on the ball.
That's a seemingly small detail, but certainly significant for a catcher. You can't take your eye off that baseball for a moment and don't want to worry about stepping on your mask if you've got to make an adjustment with your footing. Plumpton as reliable as they get defensively, and he makes an important catch here to put 2 outs on the board.
Well, this is the big out here for Benitez. Chris Lazar still throwing in that Baycat bullpen.
Ryan Dos Santos has power. 1 for 3 today, singled and scored in the 6th inning.
Well, last time Benitez faced the Leafs in the playoffs, this was 2022. Took the loss in an 8-inning, 6-earned run outing.
That might have been the last game of that series if I can dip back into the memory bank and try to remember who started that game, but things unraveled on the Baycats in the 9th or in extra innings. That might have been a 10-inning game. And it was a heartbreaking finish for the Baycats in 2022. Distant memory now, though, a couple of years later. Called strike to DeSantos. Baycats, as we mentioned, trying to clinch a series here at home for the first time since 2021. All the clinchers have been on the road. They'd love to bring the fans a party today. Here's the pitch on the ground, and it's off the glove of Roy Sando. It goes into center field. It'll score a run. Hernandez up with it. Too late as Connect comes in. And that's the 5th run for Toronto.
Yeah, tough one there for Ando. Another one of those bounding balls that hits that dirt in front of the plate. Ando did his best to try and backhand that ball on a short hop as it approached him, but as he made the swipe for it, went off his glove into the air. And because both of the runners were off on the pitch, it made it that much easier to score for Marcus Connect.
Yeah, a 2-out situation, putting the ball in play, anything can happen. Chiquetto to 3rd. Odd goes to 2nd for the out. So the Baycats are off the field. Toronto gets a run. It's still Baycats by 7. 12-5 Barrie. We go to the 7th inning stretch. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Domino's, mix and match any 2 or more pizzas and sides for just $8.99 each. Like when pizza night's more like pizza and lava cakes night, or pasta and stuffed cheesy bread night, or we're gonna need a bigger table night. Mix and match Canada's favorite pizza and more at Domino's.
Bottom of the 7th inning. These fans are alive and ready to celebrate as the Baycats 9 outs away from advancing to round 2 of the playoffs. It's Brandon Hernandez to the plate. All right, 6 outs away actually as we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hernandez due up to lead it off for Barrie. They try to add to a 12-5 lead. Hernandez, Hull, and Rio will bat against left-hander Adam Mara. Hit weakly to 3rd, and plenty of time there for Hernandez to get down that first base line. A soft infield hit. Leadoff base runner for Barrie.
Yeah, it's such a soft, a little nubber towards 3rd base. Salazzo really had no play at first, especially with the speed of Hernandez. I'll set up Noah Hull here, who comes up for the first time.
So we'll see if Juan Benitez is done for the day, but how about his performance here over 7 innings, 119 pitches? Well, Well, timeout on the field. We've got a delay of some sort. No explanation for it. Looks like we're ready to go here. Hull on for Malik Williams, who started the game at first. 12 runs, 13 hits for Barrie, 5 runs, 6 hits for Toronto.
Hull went 1 for 1 and his only at bat in game 1 is he hit there.
That one hits him on the upper right leg. 2 base runners for Barrie here in the bottom of the 7th.
Ryan Rio.
Big RBI opportunity for Ryan Rio here with nobody out.
Justin Mara getting some water here from the Leafs dugout. Sun's still beating down on the ballpark today. Hasn't quit. It's been seemingly no cloud in the sky over Vintage Throne Stadium all game long.
It's been a hot, muggy afternoon here at the ballpark. This late August heat really taking a toll on these players, maybe even some of the fans as well. Quite a lineup at the one water fountain that we have at the ballpark here at Vintage Throne Stadium outside the restrooms. Everybody filling their bottles and thermoses up, trying to stay hydrated here. Ryan Rio to face Adam Mara. Lefty-lefty matchup here, 2 on for Barrie. And Rio gets hit on the first pitch. Just glanced off his arm. 2 hit batters here on consecutive pitches from Adam Mara.
Not a good sign for Mara. We also saw it earlier in the game with Leach, who was really trying to toe that line of, which is too far inside and trying to get Rio to chase. Rio very often, seemingly all season long, has liked swinging at those inside pitches, but that one much too far.
Well, Adam Mara is a veteran, usually reliable arm, and they need him to get outs here. Down by 7 runs. Absolutely not an option to let Barrie get a bigger lead than this. Mara in the regular season, 17 relief appearances as Macabrota fouls that off to the left side. Put together a pretty good 2024 campaign with a 3.48 ERA. That was second lowest to Dustin Richardson, who didn't allow an earned run. And Mara had a 3-1 record in relief. So one of their best arms out of the bullpen. This one to second, could be 2. They go to second for 1, and that's all they will get. Benicio has no play beyond getting Ryan Rio out. Hernandez comes across home plate with Barrie's 13th run.
Third baseman, number 26.
Well, Adam Mara, the thing that surprises me, he only had 6 walks allowed in the regular season through those 20 2/3 innings. So the single and then the 2 hits batsman already paying off for Barrie.
This one dunked into right field. It'll drop. It's a base hit, and it's going to score another run. Noah Hull. 2 runs for the Baycats here in the 7th. On an RBI single for Adam Odd, and the Baycats not taking their foot off the gas here at all. 14-5, Barrie.
Well, that's the thing with those runners that Mara gifted to the Baycats with those hit by pitches. The more that Barrie keeps tacking on, the more difficult it's going to make for Toronto to mount a comeback.
28 runs in 2 games here at home for the Baycats. And they may not be done here today. Right field, and that one is going to be over the head of the right fielder, Jesse Hodges. It'll bring around another run. A big hit for Roy Sando. He's at second.
We're going to see a mound visit here. Adam Mara getting a visit from Sam Green, who started this game, acts as more of the role of pitching coach for the Maple Leafs this year. Sam Green himself, the first 4 innings were rather rough for him. 6 walks and 7 hits turned into 6 earned runs, 7 runs total.
It's not often you see a pitcher start a game, get pulled, and then come back out on a mound visit. I mean, it's not one of those strange scenarios, but I'm sure it's not strange to Sam Green. His afternoon is done, but he's not quite done.
Yeah.
It's
Well, Brad Grieveson, who comes out of the bullpen for the Baycats rather consistently and acts as the pitching coach for Barrie. We haven't seen that from him this year.
Plumpton hits this to center field. That's a base hit. Baycats looking like a carousel wheel here in this 7th inning. Another run comes in. So Odd comes in to score. Ando to third. Plumpton with an RBI single.
Number 6, Kyle Mays.
You couldn't have drawn this up any better if you're Josh Matlow. As far as what he wanted to see from his lineup here today, the Baycats have put up runs in all but the 2nd inning. It has been a sustained attack, start to finish so far for the Baycats.
Tyler Plumpton, he's having himself a fantastic day. 2 walks, hit by a pitch, and then a double and a single. Really leading that bottom of the order for Barrie into what's maybe become the best offensive production they've had this year.
Here's a ground ball to short. Benicio, underhands to second for 1. No play at first, though. 2 out in the inning. Runner stays put. So Ando stays at third. Plumpton erased on the 6-4. Names on a fielder's choice. Canisijo will be the 9th Baycat to bat here in this 7th inning.
Second time the Baycats will have batted around today. Earlier in the 4th inning, Royce Ando led off. Baycats put up 5 to take a 7-1 lead in that inning.
Baycats up by 11 runs, but these fans will stay until the final out because it's Toronto. And no lead is safe against this club. This one skied a mile high. The center field, the catch is made by Marcus Connect. Baycats put up another 4. It's a 16-5 ball game through 7 innings. We go to the top of the 8th. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats! From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Top of the 8th inning, Maple Leafs was just 6 outs left to work with, and an uphill climb to say the least. They're down by 11 runs against the Barrie Baycats, facing elimination today. Game 3 of this best-of-5 series with Barrie on top 2-0.
New pitcher of the ball game for Barrie is Chris Lazar taking over for Juan Benitez, who had a superb 7-inning outing. Lazar, this is his first outing since August 2nd against the Jackfish. And I remember in that outing telling him that he was still feeling really sore even a week or two afterward. So Josh Matlock gave him the benefit of resting him until the playoffs started, and he comes in here in Game 3. And Lazar mentioned as well, like, this is what he was saving it for, knowing that these are the games that matter the most.
Yeah, definitely didn't pitch as much as I think a lot of people expected this season, especially given the shortage of arms this year in the Baycat bullpen. But was able to get into 8 ball games, 7 of those in relief. He had 1 start as well. He's coming back from surgery, so they've been cautious with him.
He tore his labrum in 2022, missed the entirety of 2023, came back still feeling a little bit of, what he was recovering from. So he took it as easy as he could this year, only had 8 outings in the regular season.
Serves up a walk to start it off, and the number 9 hitter is aboard. So we saw Ryan Lacasse come on in relief of Frank Garces in Game 1 of this series and really struggled out there. Baycat fans hoping to not see a reoccurrence of that here with Christian Lazar on in relief of Juan Benitez, who pitched brilliantly. Charlie Towers will come on for Jose Vinicio.
That's a long foul ball. Well, the thing with Lazar is this is a great outing to give him because you have that run support, very similar to the way you pitched Ryan Lacasse in Game 1. Lazar, like I mentioned, hasn't pitched in over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks.
And if you're Rob Butler, not sure about bringing in a left-handed pinch hitter here to face Lazar, but if you got a right-hander on the bench, you would think that would make more sense here. And this one hits a right field towards foul territory, but playable. And the catch is made by the right fielder, Kyle Mabes. 1 out for Christian Lazar.
Designated hitter number 5, Jordan Castaldo.
Jose Vinicio, the leadoff man, is such a durable player. I'm a little surprised that he has been pulled by Rob Butler in a couple of games in this series now.
Yeah, definitely something I'm curious about, especially because Vinicio has had a couple RBI today. RBI single in the 5th, sacrifice fly in the 6th. So he has been productive today.
Castaldo tried to check his swing. He went. Dana Case making the call behind the bag at 3rd. So it's a 1-1 count to Jordan Castaldo. Castaldo acknowledging some Toronto fans above the visitors' dugout. And Castaldo hits that to right field, base hit. And going from 1st to 3rd is Dan Mara as the ball's brought in. Runners on the corners here for Toronto.
Alex Lanigan starting to get warmed up again for the Maple Leafs in their bullpen. Hayden Jaco for Barrie starting to throw.
Got to hand it to these Toronto fans sticking around right to the end here, and they are behind this team right down to the last out.
Well, I think it means all that much more to these Maple Leafs fans knowing that this very well could be the last game of their season. So taking it all in while they can.
And Jordan Castaldo gave them a little bit of an acknowledgement there during his last plate appearance. It's nice to see. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here.
Connor Lewis is on deck for the Maple Leafs. He would be in the place of Marcus Connect.
Lewis was very late getting to the ballpark today. This one hit high and deep to right field, and it is a foul ball. No, a home run! It's called a home run by the first base umpire, Ryan Hern. Right on that right field line. How about that? A 3-run homer off Christian Lazar.
Just a blast off the barrel of Justin Mara, who's come through with the long ball multiple occasions in this series. We even saw it last night, making that game much more closer and at Christie Pitts. But still, even after that bomb, it's still an 8-run game.
Mara and Castaldo score ahead of him. Justin Mara with a big blast off Christian Lazar. Still only one out in the inning. And this one hit deep. Foul, though, down the left side. So I mentioned Connor Lewis showed up just minutes before game time. A lot of these Toronto players getting their own transportation to the game, so Barrie, not an easy city to get to on a Sunday afternoon, wherever you're coming from. This one on the ground to third. The running throw is made by the third baseman, Adam Odd. 2 outs now.
Well, I'm sure Lewis might have gotten the nod to start in this game, just considering the success he's had against the Baycats this year.
Jonathan Salazzo. He has faced Christian Lazar quite a bit in his career. Knows exactly what he's going to see. Lefty-lefty matchup here with 2 outs in the 8th. Second baseman Roy Sando shifted around quite a bit to the right here. With Salazzo, the left-hander, at the plate. Called strike to him.
Well, Salazzo's home run was to right field. His earlier single back in the 7th was to that part of the ballpark as well.
Salazzo hits this one to right center field. That'll hang up there, and the catch is made by Kyle Mays. But the Leafs get 3, and they make it a 16-8 ball game. Toronto trying to hang on here for dear life. Josh Matlow gives Christian Lazar a smile and a pat on the back as he heads to the dugout. Barrie coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th inning when we return, up by 8 runs. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV, Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news.
Bottom of the 8th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Baycats holding a 16-8 lead in a clinching game, possibly for Barrie. 8th inning of play brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Chris Nagorski will get the ball from manager Rob Butler to pitch this bottom of the 8th inning. He's going to face Brandon Hernandez for the Baycats. 16-8 lead for Barrie. Looking to advance to round 2 in front of their home fans at Vintage Throne Stadium. First pitch from Nagorski. It's high, ball 1.
Nagorski, former Barrie Baycat. This is his first appearance of the playoffs. Had 16 relief outings in the regular season to a 6.5 ERA.
To center field, it'll drop for a base hit. Brendan Hernandez is aboard. Baycats not done yet.
Brandon Hernandez has been extremely hot in these playoffs. We mentioned how well he's been driving in runs. He's got 7 RBI coming in today and 3 hits, including a double. Excuse me, make that 4 hits, including a double, a couple runs scored, and a walk. And even that, the only time he didn't reach was a double play where a run scored.
Big swing and a miss by Noah Hull. So Connor Lewis takes over for Marcus Connect in center field, and Charlie Towers is the game's new shortstop for Jose Vinicio at short. And this one hit through the right side into right field. Goes under the glove of Dan Morrow. 2 on for the Baycats.
Well, Noah Hall knows that this is his last game before he heads back to the University of Mary in Bismarck, North Dakota, and he's performed so well for the Baycats this year when he's been healthy. And 2 for 2 already now in the playoffs. So the run scored after being hit by a pitch in the 7th.
Ryan Rio to the plate. Justin Mara out for a visit with the pitcher. If that's a mound visit, it's their last one, but it won't be. They've got 1 mound visit remaining on the scoreboard for this ball game and possibly for the season. Rio to face Nagorski. 2 on, nobody out. Barrie up by 8, but they want more. First pitch low.
Well, these guys were former teammates for few seasons when Nagorski is with the Baycats, so both these guys very familiar with each other.
Here's the pitch. Called strike, 1-1. We have only had 1 3-up, 3-down inning this afternoon. That was Juan Benitez getting the Baycats, or getting the Maple Leafs in the top of the 4th. Every other half inning has had a base runner, if you include the leadoff home run by Salazzo in the 2nd. Rio hits this one to right center. It will drop. They're going to send the runner. The ball's picked up by Jesse Hodges. The throw is cut off. Barrie makes it 17-8.
Well, Ryan Rio does what he does best. Putting power on the baseball. That went perfectly into that right center field gap into the wall. That's second hit of the day, first for extra bases.
Baycats just feasting on Toronto pitching here this afternoon. 18 hits off this Toronto pitching staff. Pretty hard for your lineup to match that when the other team is turning it on the way the Baycats have here this afternoon. 2 in scoring position here. So Hull is at 3rd, Rio is at 2nd. Nobody out in the 8th.
Well, Brad McQuinn, who's pinch hitting here, got the start in right field last night in Toronto and was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And he was mentioning to me today that it's so hard hitting at Christie Pitts because especially the glare from the lights, it's not as lit up as most other ballparks is, especially against left-handed pitchers like Johannes Alvarado was. When you see that the slider come out of his left hand with all the spin that he has on it, you can't tell that it's a slider until maybe about 20 feet in front of you because of all the glare.
I mean, I do find at Christie Pitts, even as a fan, it gets dark very quick there. There's not a lot of light beyond the actual stadium lights on the field. This one to second, the throw to first is in time. Another runner scores, 18-8 Barrie.
Third baseman number 26, Adam Fogg.
Yeah, McQuinn may not be happy with the way his at-bat ended, but still productive. He'll get an RBI in the box score. Baycats yet again a double-digit lead. Both teams have scored runs in each of the last 4 innings.
It's like a football game here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Swing and a miss by Adamad. So that is the first out of the bottom of the 8th here, and this game has almost officially, now it has officially reached 3 hours. These fans have sat through the hot, late August afternoon heat, and they are hoping to party when this one is said and done. 3 outs away from a trip to round 2 of the IBL finals, and they would be the first team to advance in this first round in the IBL. Adamad with an 0-2 count. Nagorski kicks, steals, swing and a miss. Odd all the way down to one knee.
Odd way out in front of that. He was trying to be extra aggressive here late in the game, and breaking pitch from Nagorski, and Odd just looked like a fool there. He was way out in front, leaning low.
Roy Sando, part of this bottom of the Baycats order that has executed so beautifully today. To me, that's been one of the storylines of this game, the way that 6 through 9 has executed with hits, but especially with walks, and the patience at the plate. Normally when you're going through a lineup, the bottom half are the ones that you want to get, the sure outs, and not so for the Baycats today.
Well, that strikeout there from Adamad, that was just the 4th strikeout as a team for Baycats hitters.
The bottom third of the Barrie order has accounted for 5 walks today. You give that many free passes to the bottom of the order, and it's only a matter of time before they're going to start putting some runs up.
But I'll say it again, the Leafs have relied on the long ball a lot during this series. The Baycats have not. 18 runs on 18 hits. One more would match their season high hit total. But none of them have been long balls. They've only had one in the series.
Called strike 3, and that will do it. Roy Sando caught looking. It's a 10-run Barrie lead as we go to the top of the 9th. Who will get the ball for the final 3 outs? We'll let you know when we return. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
From basic to cosmetic dentistry, Smiles on Essa Dental has all your dental needs covered to knock your oral health out of the park.
Last chance for the Maple Leafs. Top of the 9th inning at Vintage Throne Stadium. Barrie leads 18-8. This inning brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Well, here we go. The Toronto Maple Leafs with 3 bullets left to work with. They're down by 10 runs, and they will face right-hander Hayden Jaco. Jesse Hodges will lead it off for Toronto here in the top of the 9th inning. We told you Jaco would be available to pitch today, and here he is. First pitch is a called strike.
Jaco just 2 outings in the regular season. One of them was the last game of the regular season in Brantford, where he came in the 9th inning. Baycats came back and tied that game and ended up winning it in 10, so we got the win. But he's had some quality innings this year. 3 of them, only allowed 2 walks, 2 hits, and has 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in 1 hit.
Certainly not by design for Jaco to be out there. These are Carlos Sano's innings, normally the 8th and 9th, but a 10-run lead here, and Sano having worked 2 innings last night. Wasn't sure if he could go 2 here today, and as it turns out, he won't even go 1. So he'll get a chance to rest his arm.
Well, we have a little bit of leeway here, a 10-run game, and all you need is 3 outs.
Good pitching by Jaco here. I was watching his warm-ups very carefully, and most of them seem to be up pretty high in the strike zone.
Julian Johnston is on deck in the place of Ryan Dos Santos.
Here comes the crowd. These fans want to celebrate this afternoon. Their team up by 10. Game 3 of the first round of the playoffs. The pitch, low and outside. Count even now 2-2.
If you're Jaco, you shouldn't really be focused on getting those Ks. You just need some soft contact and try and get out of this inning as easy as possible. Just taking it one out at a time.
Juan Benitez, 7 innings today. 119 pitches. Does not get the call on that 2-2. As umpire Ben Rosen says it's outside. Count is full. Just got a piece and he stays alive. Hodges battling hard here against Hayden Jaco. When the Baycats last clinched a playoff round here at home, they've all been on the road since the 2021 series against the Welland Jackfish. That was a best of 3. It was a first-round series in a COVID-shortened season. And so that game, Game 2, was the only game of the series here in Barrie, and it ended up being the clincher. Another foul ball.
Jaco really trying to attack the zone here. He had the fans right with him on that 3-2 pitch.
Baycats got all the way to the IBL Championship Series last year without a clinching series win here. So these fans have been hungry for something to celebrate here at home for 3 years. Here's the pitch. A high fly ball deep to left field. It's gone. Solo home run for Jesse Hodges. Make it 18-9.
Second home run of the game for Jesse Hodges. And both of them seemingly, long gone right off the bat. Brad McQuinn took a long look at it as he headed all the way back to the wall, but had no play. 5 home runs of the day for the Maple Leafs.
Number 25, Julian Johnson.
And the third time today that the Maple Leafs have led off an inning with a home run. Also their third solo home run of the day. 2 of those off Juan Benitez. Sorry, four solo home runs today. 1 of them coming with 1 out. One to know the count. This is Julian Johnston. Johnston came on as a pinch hitter or a defensive replacement, I believe, in Game 1 of the series. Hits a ground ball to short. Handled by Brandon Hernandez. Here's the throw. It's low. In time for the out. Great job by Noah Hull to keep his foot on the bag and scoop up that low throw.
Seen a lot of those plays today with Hernandez at short where he's fielded the ball very deep at the position and has had to get everything he can on the throw all the way to first. And so multiple times today, defensive star for the Baycats this afternoon.
So 1 out here for Hayden Jaco. Here's the pitch. Fouled back by Carrington, the pinch hitter. Carrington hit .296 this season. Fouls it back to the screen. Hayden Jaco showing some good velo on that fastball out there. He is dialed up and ready to go. No balls, 2 strikes. Base is empty here in the top of the 9th inning. Pitch to Carrington, high and away. He doesn't chase. Seems like the harder he throws, the higher they are.
Yeah, saw that quite a bit in the warm-ups, like you mentioned.
Here's the pitch. Called strike 3! It's brought to you by IMP North and the Baycats, a strike away. And that's 5, so the free French fries will be served up over the celebration post-game.
Sure, it took Baycats fans much longer than they expected to get that 5th strikeout, but a reward for a great crowd this afternoon. The Leafs are down to their last out.
18-9 the score. First pitch high. Jaco deals. Call strike. Baycats won Game 1, 14-8 here on Thursday night, and a 4-3 win at Christie Pitts yesterday. Here's a ground ball to third. Odd with the throw. In time for the out, and that is the series. The crowd here at Vintage Throne Stadium on their feet to salute the Barrie Baycats, who for the first time since 2021 clinch a playoff series in front of their home fans.
Incredible showing from the Baycats offensively, not just in this game, but in Game 1 as well. Really showing out for the home fans. 18 hits in each of those 2 games to sweep the Toronto Maple Leafs as they get ready to line up at home plate for post-series handshakes.
What a moment for Hayden Jaco coming on in relief, getting it done for Barrie in the top of the 9th inning. The Maple Leafs will come out for the post-game, post-series handshake, which is a really nice tradition. They'll wait for the Baycats to have their celebration out here on the mound. High fives and handshakes. And it's great to see these teams congratulate each other on a hard-fought series here. Both teams had the offense firing on all cylinders.
To the second round of the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs. Stay tuned to Barrie Baycats.
Baycats won the season series 5-1, and more importantly, take the playoff series, a 3-game sweep.
And please drive home safely. For my colleagues up here in the booth, I'm Rob Daniels. The Baycats, thank you for attending this afternoon.
The crowd's still on their feet here, welcoming, or in awe of an incredible showing for the Baycats. And I think now it's just a point of who we're going to see the Baycats play in the second round. We know that they'll host Game 1 for sure, being the second seed in the league.
Yeah, schedule still to be confirmed, but a good chance we might have the season opener here on Thursday night or Saturday night. We'll see. It all depends on what happens in the other series around the IBL, still to be determined. So the Baycats punched their tickets around 2 on the strength of an 18-9 win over Toronto here this afternoon, as these fans get a chance to celebrate with their beloved Barrie Baycats here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Thanks for joining us for today's broadcast. For Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. Good afternoon from Barrie.